Hello. Welcome to Adventures in Aanthara, session 49. Ooh. There's nothing special about that number, but it's close to 50. Last time, the party, the Twilight Heralds, wrapped up business with the remainders, literally, of the assassins, asking some questions of their dead corpses, learning some things, but also opening new questions. Also asked some questions of the wilds for the first time. And that, among other plans and strategies, led them to head out from this hideout in the mountains and down towards the city of Hawkholm to the northeast. And they traveled through for a few more days the passes that they'd been walking down the mountain, past a group of Cjbeards soldiers, apparently, who they were able to skirt without much issue. Had some conversations, a snowball fight, and then exited the range, marched a little bit further through the foothills, and the end of the pass leading from Cjbeards into Kathos, and arrived at the gates of Hawkholm. At which point, there was a call out from somebody up on the battlements asking for your names and your business here at the gates into Kathos. And that is where we pick up. Yes, let's do some pre-rolls. Thank you, Megan.
How many are we doing?
Dos.
Plus.
Ooh, a 12
So
and a
bad.
20.
Ayo.
A nat 20 and a 2.
Okay.
Cancels each other out.
You sound better, Brian.
I'm much better. Ish.
Good.
A 3 and a 4.
Oh, goodness.
I also rolled a 4 and an 11.
Okay. Yeet. And
14 and 18.
14 and 18.
What we're really doing is rolling some person's death saving throws.
God.
Apologies to
Imagine your
whomever
pre-rolls
got
are your
rolls.
just saved.
Okay. Thank you. You all hear this voice call out. What is your response?
We are Cathian citizens here with oh god, we're Lycean. We're here with Hugo Fournoir of the Lycean Consortium.
That was
We have business.
solid. Well done.
Listen,
Do you all have your papers?
yeah.
Oh.
Incidentally,
Incidentally, most of you would know, yes, you do. You always have them on when you're traveling around. One of you, however, has no idea what this person is talking about.
We don't use papers.
I don't use papers.
I'm about to be deported, y'all.
mm,
About to get deported to the forest on the other side of the wall, so I
I
don't
don't
have a
have a
problem.
green card. Oh no.
Yep.
yeah, we've got everything in order.
Right, just one moment. And you see...
Within. Stepping behind somebody tall,
Okay.
I got
pulling out parchment, pen,
Oh.
and I'm gonna start forging Brightwing some papers.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Proficiency with a forgery
Really
kit.
fast, because of really fast work.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So, go ahead and roll me a d20 really quick.
Mhm. Hmm. 15
Okay.
plus anything.
Yeah. 15 with your bonus is enough for this. You have a pretty decent sense of what is required to pull this off.
Mm-hmm.
Given the setup you have right now, drawing on someone's back probably without any stamps or other methods of verification. I mean, you have a kit, right?
I have a signet ring.
Okay.
Which no, yeah, I have a forgery kit. Yes.
Okay.
Sure,
So you might have some bits and pieces you could cobble into the right tools. This is going to be, from Faye's standpoint, pretty tough to pull off. From Megan's standpoint, this is going to be a very high DC. So you can still attempt it, whether or not
was the
anyone
15
discovers
for?
what you're doing. That was to find out if you could recognize all this information with an intelligence check. So it's up
like-
to you whether you want to try to do it.
It's gonna be like Papers, Please, but with that one guy that always shows up, and he
I
just
want
has, like,
them
that
to look-
forged one at one point.
It's written in crayon.
In crayon.
I live here.
I guess
I live here.
I'm not trying to mimic Kathian paperwork. She is very obviously not from Kathos. So I am going to bet on them not having seen paperwork from someone that would have been where she was from.
We don't have paperwork.
They don't know that.
Yeah, you with your intelligence check, your guess is probably that they wouldn't know that. That being said, you do recognize that you are entering from another realm into this realm, and having some unknown papers is not necessarily going to be any better than having some no papers. But all this is just postulation. You can certainly try and see what happens if you would like. It's up to you.
Yeah, I will use my DM inspiration
Okay.
that has been in here for God knows how long.
Okay, then you will use your DM inspiration to cancel the disadvantage you would have from drawing these up on the back of someone's back. But go ahead and roll straight. Proficiency plus your, I'm going to say intelligence in this case.
This is really
Yeah.
funny, y'all.
While this
Balance
happens,
is my shield is smooth, and I stand very still.
yeah, I assumed it was
Very
mostly
good
on
at
Eclipse's
it.
back. While this happens, you see
Dance.
some discussion between a couple people up top, including the figure that had been speaking, and then another figure starts descending a ladder off the side of one of these battlements.
Right-wing, I'll take up any help you can get.
Brightwing, I don't know if Brightwing knows what you're doing.
I have no
But-
idea what you're talking about.
Right-wing, help.
Oh, alright.
Okay.
Are you cuddling?
Are you cuddling?
Okay. Proficiency plus intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Plus guidance.
26. 17 and a 4 on the guidance.
Wow. Okay. The DC was 25. We'll see what these made-up papers get you. Okay.
I did.
As you're doing this, as quickly as possible from the back, a secondary figure comes down. You see, some of you would recognize full military regalia. This person is a soldier of the army, not a guard of the city. Brightwing, you likely would not have seen this much. You've seen many Ivory Guard and city sentinels walking around the different towns and cities you've been in, but you've not probably seen straight-up military like this. And they walk forward, have a shield slung on their back and a spear in their hand, helmet on, walk up about within 10 feet, turn the spear over and slam it in the ground, pull the helmet off. And your names, please. You see a human man, pretty rugged looking, tough, swept back brown hair, sides shaved. Faye, you don't see him because you're very distracted, but the voice is quite familiar.
I'm going to stay hidden
Okay.
while I finish the paperwork.
So the rest of
Matt,
you,
What do my papers say?
your
As
papers.
far as like name, race,
Do they
etc.
have that?
Oh, no.
That is a good question. Your original papers would certainly be, what you were. Oh gosh, I have to DM you. Hold on,
DM.
please hold.
I feel like
And
Nas
the-
would have
the-
had that click together
yeah,
before
the-
getting here, so
if anything.
Yes. So, uh,
Oh, good. Yes, this is great.
yeah. Now
Um,
having said that,
Hmm.
given your previous experiences and undertakings,
hmm
it is likely that you could have put together some alternatives if you want to have tried to do that. There will be some roles involved. Do you think that Nas would have done that? Or would he more
I-
typically switch to what is necessary?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yes, he would have probably done that.
Okay. Then I will have you. This is interesting.
hmm
Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna have you roll. I'm gonna say that given what you've done, the ventures that you've been on, at some point in your past, you acquired these to a degree of quality that they are, you know them to be passable and workable.
Okay.
Now, having said that, you would have probably acquired them for Yasnip, for sure. But probably not for, as far as I know right now, you are Nas, correct?
Mhm.
no,
No.
he's Yasna.
As right now, I'm Yasna.
Oh, because of the
we were
soldiers,
with
you
Hu-
switched
no,
to the...
because with Hugo, we switched to Yasna when Hugo showed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's been
Okay.
Yasna this whole time.
Okay, then I would say you have Yasnip papers.
Okay.
That you know to be very functional.
Sweet.
Okay. To the rest of everyone else, by the way, this guy
I just
looks like
realized the
Tom Hardy.
problematic one. Oh wow.
Oh,
I
Oh,
just realized the more
yeah.
problematic part.
Yeah.
Hugo got fucking kidnapped.
Yep.
That
Well,
is correct.
there's also
So-
another one.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a problem.
Oh, but she's with us.
Hmm.
Do
Okay.
I'll approach
so-
this Tom Hardy looking fella and pull out my
Okay.
papers.
And you takes the papers.
Simine tale.
Sounds Sindarian, but your papers are Kathian.
Living in Olea for 14 years.
Right. Hands them back to you.
Thank you.
Looks across the rest of you.
I'm going last.
yeah,
I
I, was gonna say, I
will
don't.
walk
As soon
up
as
to
I
buy
feel movement
time.
stop.
Yeah, I will walk up to buy time, hand over the papers. Yasna Pathgrom.
Takes them, flips through.
Did we know your last name?
Yeah, what?
Last name?
Half what?
Pathgrom.
Gron.
Might I ask your business coming from the pass?
Recovery. We're on a mission from the Ivory God.
Alright. Might need more details on that, but I'll get to it. Hands them back. Hugo steps from around you, Eclipse.
As Hugo steps around, I'm going to slip the finished paperwork into Eclipse's hand, stay behind her from behind, and nudge your hand towards Brightwing. So
Okay.
as Hugo steps forward with
Okay.
the movement, the distraction of movement, I'll pass Brightwing's papers to Eclipse.
Okay.
Across Brightwing from me. I imagine right next to me.
Yeah,
oh
you
well,
guys
yeah,
are all-
I guess. Okay,
I think
then
I,
I
think
can
I was
put
just
the break-
watching Faye. I was just like, what do we
Okay.
do? 'Cause I put guidance
Well, then I'll
on
like do one of those like under the.
Yep. Roll a sleight of hand check. I will say with advantage given your setup behind large.
And an
figures.
additional +1 thanks to Sam. 19.
Okay. Hugo steps forward. The recovery mission, as it were, was for me. I was taken. My name is Hugo von Mar. And unfortunately, I don't have my papers as I didn't have a chance to grab them when I was being forcibly kidnapped. This is part of the attack on the consortium in Olaya. That is the crux of the attack on the consortium in Olaya. We heard about it. Alright, we'll may have some additional questions for you, but understood. Looks to the remaining have not handed papers forward people.
Do I need to be part of the handoff, or is that still? Did you already give it Brightwing?
No.
Once I realized that
Okay.
Brightwing was next to me, I passed them to her.
Okay.
Oh, I have him.
You have them.
Oh.
I'm gonna look at Brightwing. You give those to him.
Was she?
You give those to him.
Okay.
You step forward.
No.
Okay. This guy is probably like 6'4", so and built.
Very large.
This is Aedwin level stuff here. So you step forward. His slight eyebrow cock takes them from you. These are odd. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from the Esthethian bodies.
Long way from home. Suppose you all are. And any particular reason your papers aren't standard issue? You have no clue what he's talking about.
She doesn't appear to be anything standard, does she?
Just give him the look of like,
I try not to make judgments on outer appearances. It tends to get you in trouble. Looks back to you, Brightwing, expectantly.
oh no. Hold on. 1 second. Okay. They're new.
Damn!
I'm so proud.
The biggest fucking side glance ever from Yasna.
Okay. Roll a...
She's not lying.
It's not.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
They're
Roll
new.
roll a persuasion
I was gonna say
check.
Persuasion at that point.
And I will say, given a brief but relevant comment from currently Yasnip, as well as the papers from Faye. You can make it with advantage.
Leah, come on.
Was it an advantage?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Hold on. An 8.
Okay. The cocked eyebrow cocks a little further.
Oh no, a 7.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Even higher.
Right. Don't go far. There might be a few more questions. This is a rather odd bunch. Glances back now towards the back of the bunch. Faye, are you still hiding behind Eclipse?
I have put my hood up and have, like, slowly as they've been talking, like, turned to the side a little bit. So, like, I'm still kind of, like, at the back behind Eclipse, but I just don't want to be, like, noticed right away. So, but I'm
Okay.
not, like, hiding behind Eclipse anymore. I'm just trying to be nonchalant.
Okay. Well, he would notice Eclipse first regardless, so Eclipse, he
Mhm.
looks at you.
I will step forward and hand over my papers.
Okay. Your garb looks Olain as well. You from the consortium?
Yeah, I'm his kid. I'm pointing at my dad. Kind of the reason we're out here, honestly.
She's
I
adopted.
gather.
Yeah, definitely adopted.
You see, like, the slightest twinge, just a little bit. Not even really a smile, but almost like a, okay, I recognize your attempts at humor. Hands you back your papers. Last.
Turn around and, like, look up with and flip the hood off.
As dramatic as possible.
Uh-huh.
Do I need an introduction?
I feel like we should have led with her.
When you said you were wrapped up in some political fuckery, didn't know that meant you would be coming from Sildari.
I'll just walk up and, like, give him a little hug and a kiss on the cheek.
This
To
is
reply on
gay.
my papers as well.
Why don't we lead with you?
For appearance's sake, yes.
Okay.
Also, people can impersonate people in this day and age. Take your
I'll
paper.
pull out the signet ring.
Nods, looks at them quickly, hands them back. Are these your merry band now?
I am of them, but they are not mine. These are the Twilight Heralds.
The Twilight Heralds. Alright. Not the least unusual bunch to come through here, but not the most either. Follow me. Takes his helmet off of his spear, holds it at his side, picks the spear up out of the ground.
Oh, yes. This is my brother, Dane.
Hi.
Looks back at the rest of you and just nods. I assume she's given you as much trouble as she's given me over the years.
Well,
She's wonderful.
probably talk
Is
about
that
it over
right?
drinks. Yeah.
Perhaps you've gotten
Is
us lucky
that-
then.
Has she gotten you to play one of these before? And he'll pull out the hand drum.
There was a good 2 years she wanted the whole family to be a band, and it did not go well. The rest of us don't have her rhythm by any means.
Rafe did okay,
True.
but the mandolin is not his instrument.
No. And it's hard to get him to sit in one place long enough to play a whole song. Alright. More chatting inside. Follow me. turns and leads you guys towards the gate.
Did we get our papers back?
Yeah.
Hey,
He handed them
just
each
looks and hands them.
back to each of you.
Yeah.
So now you have these papers in your hand, Brightwing. They seem to have your name, a brief sketch of you, a few bits of information about where you're from, date of birth, and things like that, which are completely made up.
Completely made up.
You have no idea what these are. They're very strange and inaccurate.
I'm just gonna look at her while I pass. Do not throw those away.
Okay.
Yep.
They're not right though.
I'll
We
fix
will
them
make
later.
We'll make them better later. Not gonna worry about it right now.
Okay. Dane leads you to the gates, and then just past the entry through the gates, there is this setup of fencing and tables and several more soldiers. And you see a few of them that are holding what look to be wands, and then several more like seated at tables. You're gonna have to go through customs.
Oh, okay.
Anything I'm not supposed to have.
Illegal magical items or things you're smuggling in from Sildari certainly would not be ideal.
We should be alright.
He follows, walks through ahead of you all, and then spear back in the ground to wait. And as you all approach, excuse me, if you could lay out any magic items on this table here, and then we'll need to inspect each of you, if that's all right.
Yeah.
This isn't my first rodeo.
Okay.
So...
Anybody unwilling to comply on any things?
No. Does it fuck with attunement, or is it just...
No.
Okay, cool.
I think it would be like for Brightwing, it'd be like when you have a kid going through like TSA and you have to put their stuff in the bag and to push it through the item detector. She would be like, "Hey, this. Take off your shoes. I don't wear shoes. You know." Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then use shoes.
I gotta get to my character sheet. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
Magic
like-
items I have.
A little pile.
Did we want to conceal the seeds? The
They're
weird
gone,
shit?
aren't they?
No,
They're still
they
there.
can get- They're
have
reusable,
them.
girl.
Once a season, but they're reusable.
Oh, I guess.
Oh
that's
yeah,
true.
we definitely keep those.
That's fine. But I don't think they're illegal.
No.
They may be unknown. It may be like a flag, but they're not illegal. They're natural.
We'll see. I'll put out my seed.
Natural things can't be illegal, right?
Khaing, Grimm, my amulet of mage armor, my dusk ring. And did they want my bottle of boundless coffee as well as a magic item?
They
might
said to
take
put
it.
any magic items out on the
Okay.
tables. So
I'll
it's
put
up to
that
you
out
what-
there.
Any magic
I-
items.
And then my weapons, other shit.
Mhm.
Is the anti-scry thing, is that out invisible? Or is it like tucked away in a pocket?
Hugo has it.
Hugo
Yeah.
Hugo has it with him and is pulling it out,
Okay, cool.
setting it down.
So I've got
And-
the seed, the circlet,
Yeah.
the cloak, the pearl, the medallion, the lens of identify, healing potions.
I don't think those count.
I'm gonna put them on the they're.
I mean,
now.
yeah.
Is anybody? You don't all have to tell me everything on your character sheet.
Yeah.
unless
Oh,
there's
I thought you
something
wanted, like,
aren't- No, no. Is there
Eclipse
any-
does it, but she's like remembering another thing and then remembering another thing and being like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's too many.
Like my
She puts the screw down and then has to think about it.
Is there anything anybody's not putting down? Also, for those of you
No.
who are wearing any magical armor or anything like that, you would know you can just declare that to them so that they know, unless you're Brightwing, but Brightwing's not.
I don't think mine is.
Oh, the
No.
bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have pocket knife, earth seed, Oh yeah, I have the heart. I was like, what the heck is the heart? It's the
Yeah.
seed
I
guardian.
think the resounding
Oh.
thing is no, we all comply, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
one's-
as long as everybody's good.
I think Brightwing would be hesitant with her staff,
Mm.
but I think that'd be the only thing.
Okay.
I mean, Eclipse puts her spear down if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all, as this is occurring, get looks like in The Lord of the Rings when they're going into Rohan for the first time and they're all pulling out 80 million weapons and the guys are like, that's what you're getting right now. This is not a common thing. But you all put everything out.
I
And
have
then
a
you see...
teapot that sounds that's magical too. I'll put my teeth.
Yep. You see some of those figures with those wands, swing them once and activate them. They start to glow, and they move them over you and all the equipment that you've laid out. Faye, you had the bag of holding, right?
Mhm.
So one of them looks to you. This is yours, correct?
Yes.
And he pulls out a paper on a clipboard, hands it to you. You will need to fill in the contents here, please.
Okay.
Does
Something
he ask the
you're
same
familiar
for the
with.
pocket knife, or does he not know?
No, they don't recognize what that is. They're able to, it seems, detect things that are magical, but not necessarily identify what they are. Finish inspecting the rest of you, and then each of you is patted down briefly.
I'm gonna be very vague about what kind of books are in here.
Okay.
Just books.
Okay. And none of you, the rest of you have nothing of particular note on you that should be
Nope.
identified.
So-
They finish. Nod to Dane as they see he seems to be escorting you at the moment. And when Faye finishes, you can all pick up your stuff now. Thank you.
Sit down, put the shoes back on.
Mhm.
But hurry, but do it quickly so you can get out of the way of the other people who are also scrambling.
Trying to get through.
You just pick
It's
them up
at the
and carry
bench,
them
damn
to
it.
where you can
Yeah,
sit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Take your tote to the bench.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
Try to get your laptop case back in.
Once you guys finish gathering everything back up, Dane leads you forward a little further around a corner, and as you enter the gates and pass this checkpoint, you see what looks to be maybe a quarter-mile of city or so that spreads outwards, that seems like the outer walls, very defensive. Buildings that are low to the ground and structured for strength rather than beauty. You see what appear to be barracks, small watchtowers, training grounds, all dotted throughout with flags bearing the crest of the Khaing Republic, and soldiers moving throughout, some individually, some in small groups, a regiment or two marching together. Quite clearly, it seems a military-ish outpost area just on the inside of these gates. As you turn around the corner, Faye, you feel a poof as Dane grabs you, pulls you into a big hug, lifts you off your feet, sets you back down. The fuck are you doing out here?
Like shadow box with them a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I stuff things.
If
I-
I may, before we get too far.
We
And I
need
point at
to-
my dad.
Yeah.
Please do not mention that he is here. To really anyone. We just got done dealing with some very intense things, and we're trying to make sure he's actually safe.
I see. Roll a persuasion check, Eclipse.
God fucking damn it. Oh my god, it's really good. Okay. It's really right.
Jess, did you know that this is the sign for 21?
Or 21.
Pretty
Holy shit. Incredible.
He gives you a furrowed brow look for a second. Is he in danger in some way?
Yes.
Something that we should be aware of in the city?
I don't think it's that much of a threat at the moment. It's more towards him personally. Which is why we're hoping to
Alright.
move on as soon as possible, so that does not become a problem.
We're looking for
Okay.
a colleague of his.
Alright. And Hugo steps forward at this point. We would like to make our way at some point to the university. I'd like to talk with Headmaster Quillkeek. Understood. I don't by any means mean to escort or keep eyes. Your business is yours, but if there's danger that you're in, he looks particularly at Faye for a couple seconds.
A
We
note
have
on that.
means of protection. That's what we do here.
What was it, a day ago, guys? We stumbled upon an encampment of what looked to be Sildaran special forces laying in wait.
Yeah.
Where?
I'll describe kind of the path that we took in.
Within walking distance of the pass, I assume.
They were
Or at
on the
least of
path.
view of the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like an outpost.
Aye, likely keeping eyes. Not surprising, not incredibly encouraging either. Tensions are, well, they're not as high as they've ever been, but they're much higher than they were. I'm sure you all know this. Certainly don't let me hold you up, but if you all wanted to, I don't know, grab a drink later, I'll be off my shift late tonight.
I'm fine with that.
Mainly looks at you, Faye.
I'll send you a message.
Right, that's been quite a interesting phenomenon.
It's not my coolest trick.
Somehow not surprising. Alright, I'll get back to work then.
Hmm.
Puts his hand on your shoulder.
And grab his little face and do the cheek squish.
It's good to see you.
Do what you do.
Stay out of trouble.
Never.
And
Eclipse is
Puts his
giggling to
helmet back
herself
on.
in the background.
mm-hmm. Picks his spear back up and salutes the rest of you and walks back towards the front.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Luna would kill me if I did that.
There are benefits to being the baby of a family.
Damn it, you're right.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hugo, do you know where the university is?
I know generally the way to go, yes. I've been here for a while, but it's also not completely difficult to find. Points the direction you guys had started walking. And you glance up now, after kind of being in conversation with Dane. Past all of that sort of low-built, strong stone, dark gray, defensive sort of stretch, you see inner walls, quite different from the outer walls of the city. In a way, like an internal mirror of that teardrop shape that the outer walls form, you see what appear to be gleaming, almost waterfalls of white, brilliant white stone built into these walls, flowing from the ground up like from some imaginary source, 20 feet. Far less imposing in stature compared to the defensive outer walls, but a artistic sight to behold, adorned with intricate carvings, runic inscriptions, vivid artwork. Most of you know, or some of you at least know, these walls surround the refined heart of Hawkholm, which in turn is the heart of knowledge and philosophy for not only this city, but much of Kathos, and really perhaps the entire continent of Aanthara. And with the towering outer walls no longer obstructing your view, you now see dozens of buildings and towers, most made of that same white stone that dance across your eye line past these inner walls, poking up from inside, as well as several of those massive trees you had seen from outside even the outer walls with amber leaves. See several gates through these inner walls, but there's a main cobblestone road that you're just off of that seems to go into a central gate. It'll be through there, in the heart of the city. It's been a while since I've talked with the headmaster, so well, let's just hope we're fortunate. I guess I'm in charge now, or at least I'll take the lead.
Are you concerned about your ability to gain an audience with him?
I wouldn't say concerned. We have a professional relationship, but this is... I don't feel entirely in my element. And not the least of which is because I was snatched out of mine and have been in the mountains for 2 weeks.
Would you like a bath first?
I certainly would not say no.
It's probably a good idea, actually.
It couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
We look for a bathhouse then.
Mhm.
Okay. In we go. Because you get the sense quite clearly there's probably not a nice bathhouse in the area of the city you're in right now, so you head inwards.
You get a tub with like a half a sheet to cover it.
Yeah. If that. Maybe a bucket, really. Okay.
There's a dude
You
outside
guys-
going, washing my pits, washing my pits.
Yep. Exactly how it fucking goes.
Okay. You guys follow this cobblestone path, eventually reach these inner walls. You see many more soldiers, both as you walk through this outer district, but also at the gates into this inner district. And as you enter through those gates, you see the inner part of Hawkholm. A stark contrast to the rugged, militaristic exterior district. Here the streets meander through elegantly designed gardens, shimmering ponds. You see fish gliding beneath lily pads. Fragrant blossoms from exotic plants perfume the air, and the melodious chirping of songbirds serenades your ears. You see scholars, philosophers, students clad in flowing robes ambling through the streets, engaged in deep conversations or absorbed in their tomes. And you see a contemplative figure occasionally beneath a tree, deep in meditation, reading. You see dozens of those tall trees of white wood and amber leaves, seemingly watching over the inner city like sentries. And as you glance up as you pass through these walls, you catch sight of hawks. Khaing hawks, from which the city draws its name, gliding overhead in search of prey or simply enjoying the freedom of flight, before diving to return to dozens of nests that you see scattered within the carvings and crevices of these inner walls. And their cries and aerial dances create a mesmerizing display, adding a sense of grace and motion to the otherwise serene ambiance. This is quite a different vibe from what you've been experiencing over the past few weeks. And as you walk through the inner city, you eventually reach an area where you see a massive park open up. And on either side, drawing the eyesight immediately, a pair of massive buildings, spreading one to the north and one to the south. To the north, you see what is quite clearly Hawkholm University, a towering edifice of sturdy gray stone that marries rugged strength with scholarly beauty and rises into the sky with a sense of gravitas. The central structure is dominated by several sharply sloping roofs and pointed spires, evoking a cathedral-like architecture surrounded and buttressed by intricate stone carvings and sculptures, each telling a story or paying homage to the various disciplines studied within, or to legendary scholars and thinkers of old. You see a majestic set of dark wooden double doors framed by a meticulously sculpted archway, and above the doors a large stained glass window portraying figures in the pursuit of knowledge. And then across the sprawling grounds of this park, filled in its own right with fountains, gardens, paths, trees, ponds, you see a second architectural masterpiece, both keenly different and in some ways related to the structure of the university. An exterior of polished white marble and massive columns, and through the gaps of the columns, arched windows adorned with delicate tracery. 3 stories of columns and windows that climb upwards and inwards as a long, elegant marble stair, nearly 200 feet long and 30 or 40 feet wide, angles proudly upward before branching off to each level. Some of you would know this to be Ristia Library, and atop the building in its entirety is a magnificent dome of glass that allows the sunlight to cascade down into the vast reading halls within, also rimmed at its base with statues of ancient figures. This is the heart of the city of Hawkholm. And Hugo nods at the university to your right. Well, that's where we'll need to go. I don't know where we would find a bathhouse, unfortunately. I've not explored the city to that depth. I suppose we just ask around.
Usually the way of it.
I mean,
Someone clean.
I've technically been here before. Do I remember? It
Roll
was a while ago, but
Yeah, roll a history check.
Also, just out
Okay.
of curiosity, does it look like the city was here and then they built the military barricade around it? Or does it look like it's just...
Yes. And I would say less it looks like that and more you know that from your education.
Okay.
The inner city was built and was long here as a place of academics and study and exploration and magic. And then once the 3 realms sort of established themselves independently and there was conflict in between them, given its position within a very short distance of both other realms, it became a defensive choke point almost into Kathos, and so the more militaristic outpost was built up around it.
Gotcha.
that's a 22 for the bathhouse, by the way.
Okay. All right.
I
We
know
will
my
say-
bathhouses, man.
Yeah, we will say that you do know your bathhouses. Not far from what you would also know, the most popular place to stay as visitors in this city would be the Teal Teardrop Tavern and Inn. And near there, as you would know because you've probably frequented it a couple times, is the opulent Serenity Bathhouse. Do you want to take charge and lead people there?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys move now behind Sam as she leads you through these heavily gardened, lush inner streets of this part of the city. It is. There were parts in the upper districts of Ilmara, like especially around the Rosewood Estate and in that area, where you have seen areas this nice, but this is certainly up there. And after a little while, eventually, you arrive at a just garishly, ornately decorated looking building that, even in an area that looks rather nice, stands out. Beautiful, like, purple curtains on every window, and a sign that reads the Opulent Serenity Bathhouse in, like, the most flowing script you've ever seen.
I will bust the doors in
Okay.
and just walk up to the counter and put my hands on it. I will give you whatever you want. Please, give me whatever you have that involves being clean.
Okay. You see, as you enter the super ornate gilded entrance, marble pillars that scatter through the entryway of this large open kind of what's the word for the area in the front of a place?
Where?
Atrium?
Foyer, thank you. You see small baths or pools that don't look like they're for people, but like each of them is slightly steaming. There's small plants and flowers floating in each one. It just smells like it is just short of being too much, where it's like just you're getting a headache already from the perfumes, but it's not, and it's like it's balanced exactly at that point on purpose, where your mind is just awash with sensory pleasures and beauties, but not just hanging in the balance in the right way. And you see behind this marble counter a halfling woman with white hair kind of tied up into a ponytail, a couple curled wisps that come down on either side. And she looks at you with kind of wide eyes as you sat there, not at all looking or smelling that clean, any of you.
Oh, yes, I suppose I could help you. Everybody at once? Would you like a larger room?
Does it cost less to do that?
It depends on what experiences you want. If you want the top notch, you can buy it as a package. The gilded package, to be exact.
How much is the gilded package?
20 gold per person.
That's not that bad.
That's nothing.
Jesus.
That was a lot.
What
Six
about?
of us? Or 6 of us, right?
It's a lot. That's a lot.
Or 6
It's 120 total.
What about like the mid?
The most
Thank
mid
you.
package you have.
Most mid. Also with time in mind.
Ooh, wait,
Like,
if
Mhm.
every
We have places we have to go.
we have
yeah.
platinum.
Do you
Give us
say
the
that?
Gilded.
No. That's just me out of character, being
I
like,
am
we have.
putting 12 platinum up on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right then.
Oh.
Guess we're doing that then.
Please, right this way.
She leads you through a couple side rooms and a hallway, and then you get to what looks to be like a double changing area, and points to a third hallway through that goes out the back.
That will lead you to the first room, and beyond there, it's really all your preference. There's a dozen rooms, and they're all different, many different experiences, but you have access to all of them with the Gilded package.
She keeps using that word, and I don't know what I feel about it.
You keep using the word.
There
I don't think it means what you think it means.
There are fresh robes, if you need them, and towels, and there are bells in each room, so just ring them if you need anything.
Bows slightly and then toddles out.
Go into one of the changing rooms.
What the hell did she say? What are we doing?
I just one of everything, I guess. Or we could divide and conquer.
I'll go with Faye.
Okay. I want to start with like a steam situation and like steam
Yeah.
out as much as possible. Like maybe a scrub and then like a steam to like get it out of your pores, and then a soak.
Mhm.
So, once you all are in whatever setup you want to be in terms of robed, just full nude, it's really your call. You can start heading down this first hallway she mentioned, and you see that a bunch of different rooms branch off this hallway, and they're all labeled, and you see scrub rooms, sauna rooms. There are like 6 different baths of different things, one with tea in them, one that seems to be slightly electrocuted in some way. Yeah, there's a cold bath, a hot bath. There's like a salt room where you just sit on these rocks of salt. There's a mud room. The full experience as deep and in whatever order you want.
Naz will come out with a robe on, but it's like tied at the midsection and then hanging down, so the top part isn't up. And he's going for a scrub, and then he's going to the mud room,
Okay,
and he's just gonna hang out in there for a while.
word.
Opposite clean.
Mud room's different.
It's clean mud.
It's clean mud.
I don't think you would want to scrub.
I would
and then go to the
say, like,
bathroom. I think
What
you would
time
want
was it when we got here? Was it relatively midday?
It's a little past midday. It was early after. It is 3:17 now.
Yeah.
Mm.
You don't have to say it anymore.
You don't get midday.
I don't get vague descriptions in this house.
Mhm.
Well,
Sam's-
do we want to keep it kind of efficient mode here and try to get an audience with this guy, or do we want to try to get him first thing in the morning?
Is he expecting us?
No.
Then I think we have time.
Oh, is it possible to make him expecting us?
To tell him ahead of time?
Oh, yes, but
Sure.
I don't know what
That-
he looks like.
Might not also be wise right now if you
I
haven't
see.
seen him.
And it's not very comforting to get a random person's voice in your head.
Fair.
Be like, we're
Ooh.
going to go see you.
Wait,
I will pop Ted
hang
out.
on. Why are
Messenger
you
out.
okay with that?
Me?
You weren't okay with that when they did it to you.
Who?
The points at Faye. Braylon.
There was sensitive information in that case. I don't want sensitive information being shared in ways that could potentially be.
And you're no longer being a captive of the Iron Hand and the Armor Blade is not sensitive information?
I would not want it to be. I don't even think it would need to mention. Just
I see.
that you are
Okay.
seeking an audience.
That makes more sense.
Writes a note. Ted can deliver it to the front desk. Colleague looking to meet with you. Please respond. If possible, he'll bring it back.
That'll work.
That could work. All right. He pulls out, goes to the little locker where he put his stuff because he is also in a bathrobe. Pulls out a quill and ink really quick, writes out a note, rolls it up, hands it to you.
Give it to Ted.
And tell him to go to the front desk of the university.
I tell him to go to the front desk of the university, give the paper, and wait until they give him something before he comes back.
Okay, amazing.
Ow.
Your father then looks at you, Eclipse. On that subject, actually, might I borrow a piece of your scroll, if you have any?
Yeah.
I'd like to send word to Leah to find or begin to identify someone to serve as a guardian when I return. I'll send it to your mother so that we can feel confident.
I'm good with that. And I'll hand him the scroll and the usual. Because he knows how to use it.
Yep. He takes a few seconds, writes out a message, and you see it.
Okay, so that's another one.
Alright. Well, that's a start on setting up the future. But for now, I've grown rather oddly excited about this.
Yeah, go knock yourself out.
Okay.
After 20 minutes, wash off, getting in hot bath, following up with a sauna trip. Then we're good.
Okay. Anybody have any conversations or particular experiences you would like to tackle while you're here? Also worth noting, there are attendants in most of the rooms who have like perfumes, additional little cloths to wipe your sweat if you need to. People in a massage room that can give you a massage.
That.
Yeah.
That. Like, the whatever the clean, and then that.
Yeah.
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 Want like the
Sam-
heated rocks thing too.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Hot
Yep,
stone.
definitely
Yeah.
some hot stones.
I think Sam, after just taking the hottest bath possible, because she's been in the cold for the past 3 weeks,
Mm.
she'll join Faye in the massage parlor.
Okay.
Eclipse does the most become clean and do nothing until everyone is done. There is no idea how to use any of this, and she's like, alright, cool. Just sits somewhere to wait.
Right when it's just like, I think she just tries everything at one point. 'Cause she has no idea what's going on. So she's just experiencing it all. But I think she was following Faye for most of it.
Mm.
Okay.
So, like, skip that one, the cold one. You might like that, the tea one. You'll definitely like that, the mud one.
And I think when we get to the massage part, she's like, oh, we learned something very similar in the Makai with treatment.
Hmm. Like pressure points or acupuncture or anything like that?
Oh, no, just how to release tension.
Hmm.
I could show you sometime.
Oh, we could do like little massage circles.
That'd be fun. Are you excited to see your brother?
Yeah, he and I were very close growing up, but then he went away. So, he was younger than, the others, so, well, not Rafe, but he was home and still lived at home when my parents brought me home, so I did get a bit more time with him and Rafe than I did with the others, so. But I don't know. I I think I know he's a good person, but I don't want us to tell him any of what we've learned. He is honor bound to tell his superiors anything, and I would prefer to not put him in a position where he would have to lie.
When did you last see him?
Probably 2 or 3 years ago in Ilmara for the holidays.
Been some time then.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell he very much missed you.
Yeah. He doesn't get home much, but none of us do these days, really. So maybe one day we'll all get together again. Might be a little easier now that I've got this message trick. It's hard to track Rafe down with letters.
Are you having this conversation in front of Sam? Okay.
You all are getting massaged by large buff men
Men?
while having this conversation. Or women, it's your choice.
Whichever.
I don't care.
They have many
Oh.
attendants.
Take my
Brought
strong
you-
hand.
Faye, when you say brought you home, are you not related to your brothers?
No, I'm adopted.
Hmm.
I was probably about 6, 5, somewhere in there. Well, I'm really not sure how old I am. I'm assuming I have a birthday. I'm not sure when it is.
Do you know where you're from? Like from?
No. The orphanage system in Restalios was not good on records, and it was kind of more of a place to go at night and to get a meal, but I really picked pockets and lived very hand to mouth for quite a while. Before that, I don't know. I don't have very many memories from before, the homecoming, as it were, but I remember it not being very nice.
Sam just kind of sits and thinks. It's just funny. It reminds me a lot of a woman that I met while I was visiting there in Restalios. She was a courtesan. I was only like 6, 7, 8 years old at the time.
When?
What's that?
When?
Man, what year was that?
You're weird.
I don't know. She's freaking
You're
old.
in 3348.
Oh, let me pull up my fucking character sheet real quick.
Don't do math.
I don't do math.
Who would do math while they're doing a massage?
Where is it?
Sam's
I didn't
wicked
look.
smart. She does math like this.
Yeah,
all the
she does
time.
math super fast. Yeah. I have to do it slowly and find my stuff before I say anything. It would have been 3320. About that time. Yeah. She was like a big sister to me for a little bit. Beautiful woman, beautiful entertainer as well.
Do you know her name?
Ariana. She was from Mystilion, which was interesting. She did not look like it at all. Very fair woman, blonde hair.
coincidence.
I mean, I last saw her when I was like 10, and then she disappeared. I didn't see her again.
Do you... We could... Well, would you like to see her again?
I mean, it'd certainly be fun. I haven't thought about her in a while until I heard you singing the other day.
Well, we have her name and a description, Faye. Might be worth a shot, as you say.
To say what? Hi, you've never met me, but I might be your kid.
I don't know.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
She was entertainer.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but she was probably a courtesan.
A what?
A courtesan, somebody who escorts gentlemen or women in a very intimate way.
See.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I always wonder if I hadn't been picked up by the Rosewoods, if I wouldn't have suffered a similar fate.
And she was a lovely person. It didn't take away her shine at all. At least from not what I saw.
You don't know if she's alive?
I haven't seen her since. She just kind of was there 1 year, and then we came back to visit, and she was gone.
Did you travel a lot when you were growing up?
A bit, yeah. My parents are merchants. We went up here to Katos, and we went across the ocean to Mystilion to visit. Kind of went everywhere as a kid.
Yeah, we were similar. All along the coast, at least, to start, and then, of course, as the business grew, ships went, but we tended to stay. But I like Crystalios. I don't know that I would ever settle there again. It's a little hot for my taste, but the culture is rich, and the people are colorful, and it's nice. I like that for you, that you have that memory. And then just like complete zone out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just sink back into my massage, my aching fucking muscles.
How old is Sam?
Older.
Yeah, you would recognize she looks older than anyone in your party.
Not by a whole lot.
Maybe about
Maybe.
10 years.
Alright. Yeah.
perhaps during or maybe a little after that conversation. Eclipse, are you like in a room, one of the rooms, or did you just like go back out into the...
She's literally finding the least active space to sit in that is not a room that has a bath or anywhere in the way. She's like, cool, I'm clean, and I will now wait.
Okay.
Like the
I don't
Salt
wanna
Rock room.
Do anything.
As Nas is going from room to room, if he finds her, I paid 2 platinum for you to enjoy this.
How? What are you even doing?
Jump in the electrocution water. I don't know.
Why is that a thing?
Come on.
What?
I'm gonna take her into a spot to get like her claws cleaned and adjusted and sharpened and turned, and she's gonna do mani-pedi.
Yep. There is definitely a mani-pedi room, with attendants. Do you allow this to happen, Eclipse?
Begrudgingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
No
get.
problem.
You
Pain
get.
and pain.
It is an experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Um,
she probably cringes a bit,
Yeah.
but
this
has
is
enough
not something-
self-control to not lose it.
This is not something you're unaware of. You know
Yeah.
people do this all the time, but it hasn't really been your cup of tea. But it does feel quite nice. They rub out the pads,
Yeah.
file some things down. And your father, after wandering around a bit, joins you. Are you
Yeah.
also there, Naz?
Yeah, I'm also getting a
Okay.
mani-pedi.
He joins as well.
Supervisor.
Mm.
Make sure I'll fucking leave in the middle of it.
And a little ways in, you know, I got vague reports on the primary key events of what happened early on, but I don't exactly know how all of you met. It's a curious bunch.
I mean, technically me and Yasnib and Brightwing are the originals. We had Vanna and Seraph, but things got a bit too much. So they ended up leaving.
Was a volunteer basis.
Yeah.
It turned into a friendship.
Was this surrounding the attack on Proward?
Yeah.
Or
I think we all
many of you-
volunteered at the same time. If I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind me asking, it's not too much to pry. Are you from there? Naz?
I am. It's a place I would call home.
I've not been many times, but there is a quiet and at ease life outside of the bustling cities like this that I do find relaxing.
It's relaxing. But there are things that are better. Things that you're passionate about. It's easier to get set in those.
And again, I don't mean to pry or overstep. I like to know things, as I think you probably understand. I know quite well where phase magic comes from, and Brightwing's, I don't understand her wilds, but it seems to be some sort of divine power. You I don't know. Is that something you were born with?
Remy described it as some sort of blue crackling force. Seems kind of interesting. I don't know if it's born with or developed. My mother told me I was born during a storm. Whether or not that has any effect, I don't know.
There are certainly records and theories on things like that. I studied them before and, in fact, read up on some of them. Nods back towards the general direction of the mountains. It is curious, and he glances at you, Eclipse. All this magic. Wrapped up in all this conversation or pursuit or whatever it may be of magic and its means. I've always lived parallel to it, obviously, but never experienced. Kind of wiggles his fingers in a clear, like, pretend way. I do wonder what it's like.
To use magic or to be magical?
Either, I suppose. It seems one follows the other. Sometimes, at least.
Well, according to Remy, you can learn it the hard way.
It does seem possible that many can learn it the hard way, but from what I've studied and researched, especially recently, there appears to be a need for something innate. Some attunement to the threads of magic. I don't know if I would have it.
Outside of the means that we learned from Cyrus, what is your opinion on spreading magic to others? Would you be one that would want to have that power? Unlock it in some way, if it was possible?
You speak of the arguments over magical regulation.
I guess arguments aside, consider it a dream.
Well, at the very least, I would consider myself curious. I've known many friends, acquaintances, colleagues who have had those powers, and the things that they can do are wondrous. Or at the very least, curious. I do feel that perhaps for some it can become a crutch. I don't know how different I would be if I could draw knowledge from some source with a magical spell, rather than digging into the books and scrolls like I do, but I imagine I might not be as good at it, if that was the case. And I appreciate the work. But I also can appreciate the usefulness.
It's a bag of tricks. It's always fun to have them all. But even as your daughter has shown, it's not required.
No, indeed. And that is... I don't know if I would call it a comfort, but... it's certainly a factor in this whole thing. It seems that with the right effort, upbringing, circumstance, I'm not sure what else anyone can rise to fulfill just about anything they want to do. You don't need to be able to wave your hand and make it happen. My daughter is just as capable, I feel, as any of you all are, and I find I'm just as capable at what I do as the wizards in the academy or the university.
What about you, Eclipse? Do you
She's-
dream of magic?
You see at one point she's like really focused on trying not to move, and you say something, she's like, ah!
Well, it's going to take them at least another 2 minutes to buff that out.
Come
apologize.
on. It's like sandpaper.
Do you have those things that can make them longer?
Don't.
I believe they attach to the ends.
No,
We could attach the
Joel.
nails, yes. It might be a little bit odd on these particular nails. I
I
don't mean
probably
to cause
wouldn't do
offense,
that.
but-
All right. Yeah, you're probably right.
Please don't. Magic? Seems exhausting.
Hmm.
I mean, it was kind of cool. I kind of wished I could join Remy on it, but like I said, after you find out you don't, just kind of move on.
Thinking about the wonder, the what if. Suddenly, one day, it happened. What would you want to do? What kind of magic would you want to use? If any at all. You could see it as a curse.
I mean, everybody uses like the sun. The moon would be really cool. It's softer, more useful. It's not always there. Fades in and out.
Subtlety, then.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the upper end of what it can do. I've read enough history to know things can go quite haywire when it's not used responsibly.
Yeah.
I think that goes to the individual more than magic itself, though. It's a question of morals.
Hmm.
You can give something to somebody and have it be pure, and it can be corrupted.
Indeed.
Intent goes a long way.
That sounds not unlike some of the foundational arguments of the luminaries. They have suggested rather than regulating magic or its uses, focusing more on instructing, educating, mentoring the individuals who can use it so that they will use it right. Not an unfair argument or a hopeless endeavor by any means, though
Sounds utopian.
perhaps it seems likely that no matter how well your tools for shaping these individuals are, eventually one of them will be chipped. And then danger can arise. As I mentioned, back in the mountains, there are reasonable arguments on both sides of this issue. That's why it's one of the more complex debates of Cjbeards politics right now. Well, I appreciate your story and your insight.
I appreciate the lack of paper.
Some things I wish to know for business purposes, but others I just wish to know because I'm interested in people. The young elvish girl working on his nails finishes. He looks at him. Shink. This has been quite nice. Might need to talk to somebody about establishing one of these in the consortium, Eclipse.
Eclipse is fidgeting aggressively.
I think they have braiding next door.
Oh!
Lost me.
Maybe do a little bit of a dread idea on top of Eclipse, perhaps?
That even work?
You have to have hair to start.
Very
Like,
short hair, but I don't know. Nimble fingers can do many wondrous things.
We have
I mean, I
lovely
can
bows you
try.
put in if you'd like to try that.
The clips with the weave.
They can try if they want.
Alright,
Not for this long.
okay. The curious and now excited nail technician who was working on you goes and grabs someone else who just seems like a more general beautician, and you get about 30 minutes of floof and bows.
Mm-hmm.
Blue bows.
Thank
They
God.
don't go full pink.
It's like,
Yeah.
please be on brand.
Yeah, they recognize
Oh, yeah.
the vibe. Anything else that anybody wants to do or converse about here?
Do the others notice this happening? Like, if they have any reason to come in here?
I think Faye would come in because she wants to see how much more of the black biggin wash out of her hair,
Ah.
Mm.
True.
and would spy, and then would walk by a little bit, and you're in the chair and doesn't think anything of it, and then the stop, and the back up, and the look.
Yeah.
What?
Sitting still.
Just no words, just like. Yeah.
It's like your ear, like right here.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Ah!
obnoxious.
It's quite obnoxious. And does not fit Eclipse's vibe at all, except for the fact that it's blue. But
Mm.
it is quite cute.
I like it.
Can we get a few
About-
shades later on the hair? Would any more of it
Oh
wash
yeah.
out?
Oh, they have a full scrub situation where they're able to wash it all out if you want.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Yeah, they do.
Go back and forth and back and forth. Right.
Put some lovely oils in there. Smells wonderful. Brightwing, given the fact that you basically went in to try everything to some degree, you feel raw. Your skin is not painful, but just like there's too much feeling in parts of your skin where you're not supposed to feel things. It's like a slight tingle everywhere. You feel a little tender, softer than normal. It's very curious. Also, this is undoubtedly the cleanest you've ever been in your entire life.
I don't like it.
I grew up in one of these, literally. I don't think I've ever been as dirty as I was last week.
And it's,
For the past 3 weeks.
there is cleanliness for health, but is always, you're in nature.
You don't need to wear the nature.
Sometime before. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's just, I feel, I think Brightwing has more sensitivity because she just has higher perception on things, so I feel she's like... I feel different. I don't know if I like it.
Do we need to rub some dirt on you outside?
Don't rub dirt on me. I simply just walk to nature, and what sticks, sticks.
Well,
Oh, it is alright. It is
We'll
your
find some-
temper.
it's more of a ritual and a memory of home.
We have a moon pool back at home.
A moon pool? Like an opening in the forest, and the moon shines down onto the pool?
It's a perfect reflection. But it's-
Wow. That's beautiful. If we ever make it back there, you'll have to take me.
Of course. Love for it.
If a venture is being made, feel free to bring me along. I'd like to see it as well.
You want to come to the Kauea?
Well, if you wouldn't mind at all, there has not been much study on your people, and it would be quite an adventure. At
It's
some
fun.
point in the future when things are settled down.
I think there could definitely be adventure. They'd be curious about this world too.
I could give them quite... Well, I imagine you could give them quite the stories now. You've been here.
I'm sure I could. I don't know if they would hear them very. But
Right around that time, you hear flapping, and Ted comes swooping in, and lands on the arm of the nail chair you're in, Yasnip, and has a small scroll in his beak. Drops it.
And it's a Hugo.
He unrolls it. We are to head to the university and speak to Eldrin. And perhaps gain an audience from there. In a couple
Right now?
hours. 5. What time is it? He looks at you, Nas. It is now 4. Oh, it's not in a couple hours because it's now like 4:30 because you've been here for a while.
Yep.
In a few minutes is what he means to say.
I am going to quickly ask in Elvish to the nail tech
Okay.
And you put together a takeaway nail kit, lotion kit, soap kit, little towel kit, like a whole bunch of little things that everybody used throughout the course of it, and just
I'm
like
gonna
put it in a
side-eye him while
box
he's saying this.
in Elvish.
Because I can also understand him.
That's fine.
Mm.
Get wrecked.
She, her eyebrows raised slightly, but she nods and scurries off. Eventually comes back. 2 gold.
3.
Nods again.
I'll say to Naz in Elvish that you keep unveiling more and more secrets. You might not have any left soon.
Do you think I'd be that careless?
Does Sam speak Elvish too?
Sam speaks up. Why are we speaking secrets in Elvish?
Imagine not just speaking common. Anyways.
Right, we just looks at everyone. 'Cause she's not able to speak.
Everyone suddenly starts
no.
speaking Italian, and you're like, ah!
I think when we leave, Brightwing doesn't put her hair back in the braid, so it's just the full length and that dried wavy, and it's like to her back all the way. She has very long hair.
How obnoxious is this bow? Like, in my fucking head now.
It is like, it's like somewhat elegantly tied. It doesn't look like a 12-year-old silly girl bow. It looks like a classy, someone in someone in the upper scale of high society might wear this in their hair.
It's like when
take it out after drinks, and you beat me in arm wrestling.
Every once in a while, she leaves it. Like, there's nothing. It's just every once in a while, her ear will, like, just do this. You can't fucking take it.
It's slowly gonna unravel, and you just have to paw at it.
No, she doesn't even do anything. It's just her ear just keeps
like
doing that because something happens.
Like the little fur
the little
inside the
hair
cat's ear, and it
inside.
just like twitches.
Yeah.
But she's not doing it on purpose. You just notice it involuntary, and she's not making any other movement. But that is the only thing that's happening. She just
thinking of Beauty and the Beast when Beast gets the
Exactly.
spit and gets the little bows.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, fuck, it's so ridiculous.
Yep.
But no, if it's classy, yeah, she's not doing anything with it. It's just that one small little flick that you'll see once in a while.
Okay. All right. You guys, with your gift basket and very clean, nice smelling selves, head out and again follow, well, generally all together now that you know the directions a little bit, back to the university. Enter, and it is a magnificent interior. Massive high ceilings with columns, large stained glass windows, beautiful drapes everywhere, rugs and carpets with intricate designs, fine hardwood floors. Gives very like Oxford but fantasy realm times 50 vibes in
I
here.
was thinking that. Because,
Yeah.
like, as you described it, I was like, I've been to Oxford. This is what it looks like.
It is very much like that. And there is a desk at the front where you see a pretty old-looking elf man, shaved head in sort of autumnal-colored robes. And as you all enter and walk within range.
Oh, hello. Is there some way I can help you?
Yes, I'm need to speak to Eldrin with the intent of gaining an audience with the headmaster.
Well, you've come to the right place for speaking with Eldrin, as I am Eldrin. Lovely to meet you. What is your purpose in the audience with the headmaster?
My name is Hugo from War. I come from Olea, the Lyceum Consortium to be exact. And I have some things I'd like to share with the headmaster, as well as potentially an
inquiry as to whether we could use some of his means, magical or otherwise. Oh, yes. Understood. Let me take this information, and I will get back to you shortly, if that's all right. You can wait here.
Gestures to some benches and tables. And scurries away, up a staircase, down a hallway, and you lose sight. Maybe 10 minutes go by. The figure returns.
If you're willing to wait at half an hour or so, the headmaster will be able to see you. He recognized your name. That is no problem at all. Thank you. Indeed. I will take you there when the time is right, if that's all right.
Hugo just nods. And looks around at you guys.
I guess we're waiting then.
Alright.
There a
You all wait.
bench?
There are benches and tables, yeah. You see many students of many ages and or professors that come in and out, pass between the hallways.
Does it feel like a public space? Does it feel like a shared space, or does it feel like, is this a library? Is this somewhere
No,
that's meant to be
this
quiet,
is-
or is
this
this like
is-
the bursar's office?
It's like a really, really large entry hall that has many, many offshoots, hallways, and staircases that seem to go to other parts of the university.
Okay. While we wait, I'll just pull out the flute and quietly, like, just kind of elevator music.
Okay. Early on into it, you get a bit of a look from Eldrin, but then he goes back to what he's doing. He doesn't seem to mind. Half an hour passes and he comes up to you.
Quite lovely music, in fact. That was lovely. I will take you to see the headmaster now.
Hugo nods, stands up. Rest of you join?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He leads you up a staircase, down several hallways and another staircase, and eventually to what appears to be a large sitting room sort of area with a couple desks in it, like a place for study and contemplation. There's a large window that looks out over the park that you all saw on in between the two large buildings. And you see a white and gray feathered Aarakocra man. Very, very old looking. Molting feathers, walks with like a gnarled cane, but fine robes, gold with navy blue trim. And when you all walk in, he looks over to you.
Oh, you must be Hugo and the band that he brought, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, Headmaster. It's been quite some time, but we've met before.
Oh, yes. Perhaps a good 20 years ago it might have been. Something I don't... Come in, please.
And he sets you up in a couch area.
Well, I'm very curious about what you have to say. It's quite odd to see an audience of Olayans here. Well, you don't all look Olayan. Might I ask who you all are, in fact?
We are the Twilight Heralds.
Indeed. Is that are you a band of some sort?
I'm gonna
Wait,
pull out the
wait.
drum.
Pull out the little horn that I have.
Oh my gosh.
Drum roll.
In a
Do
way.
do 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 do.
In that exact tone.
Yep.
Are you set to play at the Starfall?
The what?
The what?
Mm-hmm.
The Starfall Pavilion.
Totally.
What? Does Faye know what that is?
Yes, you would know what that is. That is a theater in Hawkholm, one of the finest in Kathos. You would be very well aware. A magnificent place, like top tier in the nation, where all the best orchestras, plays, ballets, depending on the type of season or time of year.
Or like the Met.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a battle of the bands later. But for now, we need to do some research.
Yeah, it's a little off the main strip, if you will.
We've set up our ballads for books.
Right. Well, good luck to you all. In the meantime, what is it you wanted to speak about, Mr. Fournois?
He glances sideways at all of you a bit.
No one let this man near a window.
Oh boy. God damn it.
Jonathan!
I'm not sure what you may have heard.
I'm so glad we were all mentally sharing the brain cell on that one. Good. Good.
We're all
All
there.
right.
Don't worry.
We made it. We made it. It's fine.
Oh no. There is a large window in this room.
God damn it. Keep
I
away
feel
from
bad
it.
for any Aarakocra that's in a D&D campaign from now on.
Don't
Yeah.
feel bad for
It's
them. They
never
chose to
not.
slip.
We're not out here entirely by my own wills or purposes.
I did hear something of a kerfuffle at the consortium a while back. Less than a month ago, I think.
Yes, related. It's been a bit of a journey. I have some things I'd like to impart related to recent events. And also wanted to inquire about the possibility of using your teleportation circle. If it's available.
Alrighty then, that is quite an introduction. I am very curious indeed. Should we perhaps go to my office? If this is, if there are quiet words to be spoken.
Yes.
Hugo looks at you, nods. I think that would be wise.
Right.
Oh! He stands up somewhat difficultly, stretches out his wings,
Follow me.
leads you to his office, which is another 2 minutes.
I'm gonna fall back to Brightwing and just go, can you do the magic thing? Check for the stuff in the
Oh.
office. Make sure it's not a problem.
I maybe make sure I have it prepared today.
If you don't, that's okay. I just want to
I'm
know.
going to
'Cause
look
technically
first.
we've got, and I'm gonna point at my dad. So it doesn't matter, but I just want to make sure.
Let's just prepared today. I have it prepared.
Let's go.
I will
Okay.
cast it now.
Okay.
Cool.
You're just gonna cast it with an action?
I will just cast it. Yeah.
Okay. What are the components?
Ah.
Casting
Purple
magic
is
in
magic.
magically placed.
Are you trying to do it quietly in the back so no one notices, or are you okay just letting it rip?
That's the somatic
Magic is about
component.
like farting, everybody. You gotta be careful about it.
Listen, little bird girls fart too.
Sometimes things just
I'll
happen and stuff starts glowing. I mean,
I guess it depends.
What the fuck
I'll
am I
start
supposed
to
to do?
cast it, but if like Eclipse gives me a side eye of like keep it down, then I'll keep it down. But if not, I was just gonna do it.
Okay.
counter spell.
Fucking imagine, dude. Just
The headmaster seems to take no notice.
oh, thank God.
Leads you those couple minutes, and you arrive at a large office. Very ornate decorations, big mahogany desk, bookshelves on every side, and a big window behind the desk. Yes, there is a large window. And upon arriving, you do get pings of quite a few different things. Small quality of life enchantment type stuff, like a little teapot that's slightly glowing, some instruments on his desk. Nothing crazy.
Alright.
Yes?
Before we start this conversation,
Yes.
may I suggest a break?
Yes, I was going to say that actually as well. In fact, Hugo begins to recount much of what you guys have discussing with the headmaster, and that is where we'll take our break as they have that conversation. All right. So, over the next probably about 20 minutes, Hugo gives a rundown summary of the major stuff, leaving certainly some things out. The details of the assassins and his kidnapping, he doesn't really go into much, but he does pass along the information about what you guys learned from speaking with them and their confession, quote unquote, to the assassinations. Does not mention Adrexia Greaves by name, but does state that he believes there could be potentially high level or high tier arcanists involved, and that he should be aware of that. Give some of the background of what you all did, though it's not necessarily he doesn't know, or at least he says as much that they don't know if there's a direct connection between all of that stuff and the recent events, but gives more or less the general summary. And So ideally, I'd like to get home to my family as soon as possible and record all this in our own archives and then get in touch with other contacts. But I felt it would be useful to the university and your connections here, I'm sure. And if it's possible, as I mentioned, we would be very grateful for the opportunity of some quicker travel. And Headmaster Quillkeek has kind of been sitting, fingers steepled for most of this, paying close attention.
Indeed. Quite the convoluted mess of things. Perhaps most importantly, I think it would be useful for Drakkar Vidarson to hear this. I can pass that along unless you wanted to speak with him.
Hugo looks to, I would say, the rest of you in general. Looks back to the headmaster. Just so long as you would consider him a trusted ally. Like I mentioned, there are potentially large players involved.
Well, I can't think of much more of a staunch ally than the Drakkar, but noted.
Forgive
As
me,
for-
Drakkar Vidarson is which school of magic?
Oh, that would be abjuration. He's responsible for much of the magical defenses of this city. And, of course, more cities around Kathos, but he's actually here helping with the defenses. A bit of a important city for that kind of thing. Did you wish to speak with him? I could secure an audience if you felt that would be helpful.
I think speaking with the Drakkar is not something you get to do every day.
Well,
Is that what we're prepared to do?
Is that
Kind
to
of
the group?
Everybody else, yeah, to the
Okay.
group.
Right now?
You're muted, Megan.
Oh, I said why? Do we feel like to our knowledge the Drakkar do not have any political allegiances? What purpose would relating any of this information to one of them provide?
well, in this particular case, he's one of the more important figures in defense when it comes to arcane means, and it seems that that could be of use in this scenario, and that perhaps some defenses that should have been in place were skirted. Feel like that could be useful to him as well. Do you feel that there is information you'd rather not pass along to the Drakkar?
Kind of gives you a squinted eye look.
I guess as a true patriot of Kathos, just want to make sure that the information that we've uncovered is used correctly. And as I said, the Drakkar are known, regardless of what this man is currently doing to help our defenses. They are still there are no permanent allegiances. And I want to make sure that this seems like it could go higher than that. We need to be very careful with who and how this information is spread.
I see. Oh. Well, the way that Mr. Fernoir has put it, it does seem like you believe there's little in the way of political motivations behind these, or at least less than many think, between the realms behind the murders. Is it somebody like a Drakkar who's a bit above all that might be able to help assuage some of it? There's quite a bit of tension, as I'm sure you know.
Tension among the Drakkar?
No, among the realms. I don't pretend to know the goings-on of the Order. I've interfaced with them perhaps more than the average fellow, or madam. But, they're rather independent on the whole, it would seem. If you do have concerns about inter-realm conflict, though, that may be wrapped up in all of this, I suppose that could be a different story. Do you feel that's the case?
Eclipse kind of just shrugs a bit and just goes, I'm the most concerned about his safety. If it would put the realms at ease, then that's a different story. But unfortunately, we don't have definitive proof to confirm if that was the case.
I see. Does remain unresolved who hired these assassins and why, I suppose.
Right. So rather than spread something that might not entirely be true.
Now, I will point out, and he looks kind of mainly at Hugo, given... this is a bit difficult. I do feel that the other realms should be made known. I don't know that we want to keep them in the dark on this. So there is that to consider as well. How they're informed, indeed, is perhaps a sensitive subject, but if we know things and don't tell them, and then they later find out that we did, that could look
an issue.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think that we have one means of informing,
Cocks his head at you.
which, with respect, we'll leave to our own device.
Alright.
My additional concern is that it may seem like very convenient timing. Suspiciously convenient timing for these assassins who were just hired from some unknown source that came in and took, as opposed to a political... Do you understand what I'm saying? It just seems very...
I'm not entirely sure that I do follow you, I'm sorry. Are you saying...
If we
Seems
are...
planted.
It seems like a plant. It seems...
I see.
that is our concern, that the information of assassins having taken out two notable, very notable political figures amongst two nations, and one of them just so happens to have uncovered assassins that no one can know anything about, and it will just have to be handled very delicately
I do see
by
where
people
you're
that
going.
are probably a little more politically savvy than we.
Coming from a more neutral party sounds a bit easier than coming from citizens of a nation that seems a bit...
That
That's
is part of the reason that I suggested the Drakkar.
Yeah, Yeah.
Do you know how long the dry car is supposed to be in town?
Likely, unless something calls him away. For a long time, he lives here. Or at least one of his homes is here. They move about, I suppose, but...
I think maybe we put a pin in that one.
I think, would you be willing to write us a letter of introduction? That way, if we did choose to go that route, we would have something in hand as a reference. Our primary focus right now is on the safety of Mr. Fournois. This may be a thread we could follow later.
I understand. Certainly I could, yes. It does feel like a bit of a important thread, so I would hope you wouldn't leave it hanging too long, but I could write you something and likely would help. As for the circle, despite how little I remember in the recent years, we go ways back and this feels rather important. I think we could spare a use. It would likely be tomorrow. It's closed down for the day, but if you're alright to wait till the morning...
I think tomorrow fits.
Tomorrow's great.
Cool. Great.
And I'm sorry, you mentioned you were the Twilight Heralds. Excuse my disbelief, but you seem to be a bit more involved in this than just some band.
And you see
variety.
I would say, who has a passive insight at or above 14? Okay.
Yep.
You would, those of you who do, would kind of get the sense, and it's sort of been a growing sense, but certainly in this moment, this guy seems a little kooky and oddball, but he is very clearly very sharp. And both in pure intelligence and in the understandings of the way the world works. And he's kind of giving you a...
Just people trying to do right by the world.
We are, how you say, more than meets the eye?
That one.
Indeed. Well, fair enough. I do respect the level of your business is your own, so I won't pry.
I
Do you
can
have,
assure you that this information is with people that are genuinely trying to do right by all, not in selfish intent.
I appreciate that sentiment. I'm not unaware of the fact that individual opinions of what is right by the world might differ a bit from person to person, but you do all seem to be, at the very least, looking for peace more than conflict. Which is more than I can say of some. Well, we have places to stay in the city. I hope you'll have a chance to enjoy what it all has to offer. It's quite a nice place.
What would you recommend?
Well, it depends on your interests, I suppose. if you're into the arts,
And he gives you that again, kind of squinted eye.
musically inclined as you all may be, the Starfall Pavilion is certainly a sight to behold. There's likely a late showing that's beginning not too far from now. And judging by your non-instrumental belongings,
He kind of scans over all of you and the variety of fine weapons and or other magical items you seem to possess.
the Emporium, the Ethereal Emporium of Song and Sun, one of the finest magic shops in, I would say, Kathos. And there's quite a fine bathhouse. I don't suppose you've been.
Basket.
Yeah.
I thought I smelled it.
He has slippers in it.
He's familiar with the scent of the lotion, guys.
Listen,
man-
he's an old
man
molten
knows.
man. He's got to get.
Gotta survive
Something.
in this wild world.
Yep.
I support. Are you jealous?
I will pass along a note to the circle that you'll arrive tomorrow morning, if that's amenable.
Yeah, that'll work.
Well,
Most kind, sir.
I do my best to be helpful where I can. I find it tends to come back around.
Give a very respectful bow.
It was very excellent to see you again, Hugo.
You as well. Thank you for your input and your generosity.
I wish you all luck in your performances or whatever else.
He heads over the door, opens it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You as well.
Guess we shuffle our way out of here.
Okay.
I'll give him respectful.
What would you all like to do?
Where are we going?
We gotta go to that fucking
We gotta get
magic
loaded.
shop, yo.
We gotta get
Oh,
okay,
we need
okay.
to talk to Rylas.
Yeah, we do.
We have to
Rylas owes
have-
us some
we
mad,
need to have dinner
mad
together.
money.
Probably it would have to be step one is we need to figure out like this next step.
Yeah. Okay. So
We
first
get
off,
somewhere quiet.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We need a quiet
if
place.
you want, you could look around in the university. You pass a number of areas, like the study area where you first met Headmaster
Yeah.
Koki.
Is there like a
There are
private
certainly
room?
some nooks, yeah, where if
Do we
you
have to
speak
rent
in
it out?
relatively
Do we have
hushed
to leave our
tones.
ID at the door.
Okay.
Papers are left at the door.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So, okay. Where are we
As we
taking?
discussed
this-
this, I will work on a correct set of documents for Brightwing.
Yeah. And I'll give her my correct birthday,
Okay.
which is
Oh shit! Please hold. August 17th.
Brightwing's a Leo?
Wow.
I didn't get to choose it.
I don't think that's
Well-
normally something that you choose as an individual.
No, it is
No,
not.
that's true.
No, you can absolutely choose.
What day is it currently?
Built different.
Out of curiosity.
It is June 2nd.
Okay.
You got
It's
2
almost
months.
Leah's
Currently,
real
I thought it
time.
was autumn.
Mm-mm. You started in spring and it's been a couple of months.
It's June 2nd. My birthday's June 5th. We're almost to Leah's.
Hey, yo.
So a dry car in Hawkholm.
I guess I didn't fully understand the suggestion when he first proposed it, but then the more I thought about it, the more it made sense that it would seem best coming from someone that is not politically involved, but I don't want to go to that person just because they're the first powerful person we've come across.
Still,
And because of other names.
Yeah, we don't know who they're in league with.
Incidentally, I will throw into the mix, there is also a dry card that frequents Olea,
Which one?
Orion Marquez, dry card of illusion. Perhaps his field is a little less directly related to the situation at hand than Brand's is.
Do we
We need to
call this?
decide.
Do we get him here? Can he get here?
Or if he can't, can he meet us in Alea? Also, where are we taking Hugo? Are we like
Sounds like Olea.
sounds like such a terrible idea.
it feels bad. It's a you freed a bird from a cat's grasp and then you put it right back down where it can reach it again.
This is not a good idea.
Oh, but we killed the cat.
Okay, can we not do that? That would be
Oh.
awful. Anyways.
Well,
True.
Sorry.
That would
What
be
if we
preferred.
were-
A wolf, a
Hypothetical
lamb from
cat.
a wolf, and then we
Yes.
put the lamb back where the wolf. Yes.
That's much better. Let's go
we
with
killed
that.
the wolf.
what if we just brought your brother here first? Then we try to.
So this is the rough part, right? So we've convinced. We told my mother that he's fine.
Yes.
They know he's safe. The people here know he's safe. That's pretty much it. Most other people should not know he's okay, although now that the news has spread as fast as it did to get here, it's probably going to spread everywhere else. So...
News of the consortium having been attacked was spread here. They were unaware of Hugo's.
But he's here
Uh,
now.
Well, not very many people know him on sight. And
I trust Heldmaster Quillkeek not to make much of a fuss of that either.
Right. So...
and Dane won't tell anyone that he doesn't have to.
Right.
Hugo. Respectfully. Where the hell do you want to go? Is it Olea? And if it is, I'm sorry, sir, but you need to possibly focus a little bit more on other things besides work. Mainly saying because you were supposed to be home that night. They knew you were there. They sensed your habit.
Indeed.
It is not to say you could not do your work from other places. Maybe not with the same resources, but you seem as a smart man to work around it before.
There are quite a few factors at play here. And I can't pretend to know the right answer, but I will share my priorities at the very least. My family is priority number one. I've been away from them long enough, and I don't wish to remain apart from them much longer. And uprooting them to come to a new place for an undetermined amount of time does not sound particularly appealing either, though I understand its merits. Second on the priority list is my life. Admittedly, close behind. I'd rather not die and leave that family alone. that would be just as bad, if not worse. Third on the list is my work, and it may be a ways behind the first two, but perhaps not as far as all of you would like it to be. I understand your thoughts, but it is my life. My family is the heart of my life, and my work is the rest of it. And it is important work. There are things perhaps I could do from elsewhere, but not in the same way. As for where I want to be, I do believe that perhaps I could work from the confines of our home in Leah, rather than being in a consortium itself, which is more public. It's possible, if we do things right, I could even get there without being noticed, which means things could go on relatively as normal, or at least as they have over the past couple of weeks, with my wife being the more public face. But I would be close enough to be able to do the things I need to do. Anywhere else would be very difficult. And to the question of the wolf and the lamb, as I mentioned previously, I have this, and he sort of fiddles with the orb, and I can stay inside of buildings here or somewhere in Ilmara, try to remain out of sight. But I feel that the resources of the figures we may be working against are great enough that is unlikely to keep me invisible forever. Perhaps for a time, but not for long. And previously, we were unaware of what we were up against. We were unaware that they would have any interest in me. Even the times that we saw those cloaked figures, we thought they were just interested in stealing information, not kidnapping me. We have different insight on that now. And Olea is a place with people I trust, with figures who might have the power to protect me in a greater way. And there's something to be said for however powerful they may be, the concept that one wolf being slaughtered after plundering the pen might discourage the rest of the pack from plundering the same pen again.
It's another reason why it's good to let them know that they're dead.
Indeed.
I can make you invisible when we arrive in Olea. What if the security detail is for the Four Noir house itself, making sure nothing goes in, at the mention of you being there doesn't even come to anybody's ear? We arrive, escort you, invisibly. We find trusted potential guard for the house.
He looks to you, Eclipse. For quite a while, you have been the key to keeping eyes out. I don't believe that is... I don't believe that that is the full potential that you have, and I recognize that. But when it comes down to it, I do trust your insight on this more than perhaps anyone. If you believe I should be hidden elsewhere, if you believe that we should set up a decoy, I'm certainly all ears. But you also know I need to be with Celeste.
I'll admit you staying home wasn't really a plan I'd considered. I didn't think you'd actually do it.
I would rather not, but I understand that I may need to make concessions.
If you can pull it off, and I think everyone else can keep the act going. And I don't really see a problem with it because, again, we don't have to mention that you're home or safe or anything. All they need to know is that the assassins are dead. Whether or not they put that together it's gonna happen either way. I'm just pissed because I can't be there.
I believe that Luna can handle much of what you would have, and if things go right with the request I sent earlier, I should have protection of a caliber that will make me at least feel somewhat safe. It's worth noting, I don't believe that whoever is at the very top of this plot would come for me directly. Were that to be the case, I would not feel safe with just about anyone defending me. But that is an extremely risky move that I don't expect. Which means if I find somebody capable enough, or somebody along with the guard, perhaps it will be enough, assuming they ever do find me.
Spent a hell of a resource the first time, so yeah, it might not actually be on their docket to do it again. They really thought they had it with those two. Just do me a favor, don't pick anybody from the swords.
I have a hope. See if there's someone available.
Would Remy have any connections? The
The
university.
letter I sent earlier was to the academy. They have a variety of students, and as a result have connections with warriors of both arcane and martial prowess. That would be my goal. People trained specifically to defend against rogue mages, as it were.
Said it, Sam.
True.
Alright, well, it's not what I had in mind. But again, you bring up incredibly good points on that one. Things I didn't really consider.
It's very much how doves are, looks to Hugo.
Yeah.
Doves mate for life, for one. And they always come to nest in the same place, no matter what the year has brought. Tribulations, loss, they always come back. And looks to Eclipse. And sometimes the children takes their spots when they are grown.
We just need to give Luna a break. She's not supposed to be at this for this long.
No, my hope would be that if I'm able to obtain one of these guardians, and that if the Ivory Guard themselves can set up a bit of a rotating watch, that Luna would more be eyes looking for concerning lurkers, as she was previously, and did spot these figures. We just didn't ever have a chance to apprehend them, unfortunately.
Everybody good with that plan? More important,
could have-
what are we gonna do if we get to the circle and they notice that he's invisible?
There is some magic that simply, as Nas has performed before, changes appearance. Not as permanently, but there is illusionary magic.
There's also, I mean, you mean in the circle of what?
Well, like if we get there, right? And he
Leia?
is already invisible. Don't you think in an academy people would typically be looking for people sneaking in on something like that?
Are there checkpoints at these circles?
Yes, they don't let just anyone walk in willy-nilly, and they are careful when allowing those in who have obtained the opportunity to travel in this way. I
Who
would...
would receive on the other side? Is it something that Inspector Kovac could say, this particular use of the teleportation circle is secret by order of the Ivory Guard, and have them oversee our arrival? We could sneak right out. Sneak you right out, we'd be visible. And we could get an armed escort to your home.
The circle's within the academy, and it is also watched, though I imagine not as stringently as the one here is, given the military significance of this city compared to Leah. But yes, that seems plausible if you were able to contact her in advance.
That might
No.
actually work.
As
Oh.
for going here, is it, I guess, enough of a priority to also have the circle here when we go be under some sort of the similar? Whether it be from the military or the headmaster, by chance?
I don't believe I'm particularly recognized, and even if I were, I've been walking about in the city, so I don't know that it would matter all that much. And
You want Inspector Kovac to know he's still alive? Or is recovered?
No, I think the intention was just to escort us. Purely out of safety. Right?
We don't want Kovac to know that he's...
if I'm going to obtain Ivory Guard assistance for the home, she'll likely need to know.
So maybe after we arrive, and we can be assured that the Ivory Guard involved would be Kovac and only people she deemed necessary, then
And
we
we can
can
break
make
the
you
news.
harder to spot
Yeah.
and get you home.
Yeah, because again, the less people that know, the easier it will be to pin down if it does get out.
Right.
Okay.
Hey Matt,
Mm-hmm.
this might be asking too much, but does Remy have polymorph?
not
It
sure.
depends. If she casts polymorph, is she gonna blip out of existence again?
Probably.
That's true.
I mean,
will
I'm up
ask
for it.
Talia.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You
how
don't
long
have
it takes
access
her
to the
reply.
You don't know. We didn't see her cast
The
polymorph.
above table, I think it'd be easier to detect someone's invisible rather than someone polymorph.
I think that we've addressed.
I'll deal with
do
the
that part.
invisibility.
without
Yeah,
raising
it's
suspicion.
again, in Eclipse's mind, it's mostly like, hey, it's a teleportation circle on a fucking campus. I'm pretty sure at least 4 or 5 people did enough of a fucking prank to cause security
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
At least one.
That's
Yeah.
That's the only reason she's like, they have to know when somebody comes in if there's
Yeah.
somebody invisible with them, just on a pure
Yeah.
prank basis, not anything that's crazy.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. So we'll do the invisibility after we get into Leah.
Okay.
Right, because then Kovac would be fine for Kovac to see him arrive.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And
I
then-
think I'd just be curious if.
Yeah.
I
mean,
she
that's
does
also
not.
true. Okay. So
And-
so if I have the plan right out of character, is we get in the circle, he's seeable, we get there, only have Kovac and very specific people at the circle to see that, and then make him invisible.
And
Yeah.
then home.
And I wouldn't even say not even your mom or your sister to raise suspicion that they're coming.
No, they won't be there
No.
at all.
Okay.
They're at home.
No.
They,
it
they
is-
are grieving.
No,
Yeah.
they do not leave the home.
Yeah. And this is a
Okay.
contingency plan for the after the fact. We've gone out, we've looked, we've come back, we've checked, and we're like, stay in the house, and here's the guard.
So what's the
Continue your
story we
stuff.
should say then? We killed the assassins, but we never found them when we found
Yes.
the assassin?
We
Well,
killed the
we're-
assassin, but we didn't find him.
It's not our responsibility to share that detail because
No.
Kovac is going to know both. It is
Yeah.
Kovac's responsibility.
To cover that.
For the world at large, it's that the assassins are dead.
Okay.
The status
we
of
don't
him
know,
is
and
not the
I-
important part.
I also don't believe that Kovac should be the one responsible for sharing that information.
No, they
Which
won't be.
brings up the
But-
next question, since we're above, Rylus or the dry car? Like, what? We've
Rylus-
got both.
Rylan
Rylus
should.
knows that-
knows. But the thing
Yeah.
is, Rylus already knows about the dry car being the big dude.
Hmm.
Is the thing.
That specific dry car. They are independent.
Yeah.
We just don't
Yeah.
know what what allegiances they have to each other.
Well, maybe we should ask Rylus now. We have sending.
Yeah, that was my plan. Was like once we were out of there, like I was trying to figure out where we were going, and then my plan was to contact Rylus and ask him to meet us to wherever we were going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the dry car's here. So if we're gonna
So-
meet with the dry car, we have to do it before we leave.
I don't want to
question
meet with the
of-
dry car. I'm gonna be honest.
I am
Annika,
suspicious.
Like,
your
yeah.
thoughts?
I don't know, man. I don't know how these people's names are.
Oh, well,
So-
I'm sorry. I think we
Oh,
don't really
actually,
know a
that's-
lot of who you.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
point.
importantly,
let's take a quick pause. Quick pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you filled in Sam on any of the larger picture?
I think Sam is an inquisitive enough mind that in our conversation she would have been like, "Oh, who's that? Or what's this?" And I would like to think that we then would have been able to, but if
Well,
you
that's
don't
my
feel
question.
like that's
Because we've said Adrexia Greaves in front of Sam.
Yeah.
Possibly,
With-
but I don't.
With Hugo.
But none of
Yeah.
the other names I don't think have come up in conversation enough. Or that's been like
So-
explicitly explained.
Yeah, and the last time I asked this, you guys had kind of said you have not spilled a bunch of the
Yeah.
background stuff to Sam, which is very
No.
fair because you hadn't known her very long. You still haven't known
Yeah.
her very long. You have now
Mhm.
fought with her. So I'm asking again, has there been any change to that status? And if not, it could happen right
For-
now, or you can keep holding on to it. Or it's up to you
Okay.
guys.
I think, like, Brightwing, because Sam had directly asked Brightwing about very specific stuff, and she said, let's discuss it with the group before I share. Because it's not my information to share alone when we had our convo. So I think that was still Brightwing's stance, that she does want to tell Sam, but she was going to wait till as a group to do it.
Mm-hmm. And that never came up again.
Never gave a-
So-
we could
What-
pull
That's
out
fine.
the red string and the pins and
Full
Yeah.
Harley Day.
My
Alright.
question off, like, to the side was just gonna be, like, did Sam know any
Yeah.
of these people?
Independently.
Vidarson specifically, I guess.
Roll a
Or Marquez.
history check.
That is. That's a natural 3 for 14. No. Sorry, that's way less. It's only 10. I was at
Okay.
thing.
10?
10.
Okay. 10 is something at least. You are loosely familiar with the Archesian Order. Is Anneka at all familiar with the Archesian Order? Okay. So just to give you a brief understanding. The Archesian Order is a conglomerate of 9 of the most powerful mages on the continent. Each has their own school of magic that they sort of are not heads of necessarily, but when like a magical issue of some kind might be related to one, they might have what is the word for like when you specialize in something? Specialties? Is that the word I'm looking
Mhm.
for?
Oh, like those people
Subject
that
matter experts.
Specialist.
yeah, like those people that like they bring in as like references on court cases and stuff, like a,
Yeah.
like a special witness.
Yeah, an
Yeah.
expert witness.
Expert.
Kind
Yeah,
of, kind of, but not necessarily specifically for trial-related things, although that very well might come up. But that kind of thing where they are the foremost persons on those specific areas.
They're the experts in their field.
Yes, they are known to be extremely powerful. They are rather shrouded in the sense that they're like typically not very public figures to the general society. Even less so than like political figures for sure. But some people would recognize them, and the higher you get in society, the more you might have heard names of a particular Draikar. The members of the Archesian Order are called Draikari. Each of them is a Draikar. That's like their honorific term or whatever. And I would say with a 10, you would know of the presence of Orion Marquez in Olea because of his significance and the work that you do interacting sometimes with people of import for whatever reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Water Genasi, again, very powerful mage, expert in illusionary magic. Not much, you don't know much else beyond that. And to the rest of the Draikari or the rest of the Archesian Order, you really don't know much.
So
they're
this
saying-
other guy that they're talking about.
Yeah, you know that there's a Draikar for each school, so when the headmaster brought up the Draikar of Abjuration, you're like, oh yeah, that's a Draikar of Abjuration, neat. But you didn't know his name or anything about him.
All right.
For my player memory, is Adrexia Greaves one of those people? That was
Yeah,
the
Dunamancy.
one of Dunamancy?
Yes, correct. Adrexia Greaves.
Just wanted to make sure my paranoia was in the right place.
So
Yep.
we know who the person is for. Oh, well, we technically know all of them.
We know
You've
all
heard
of
all
them.
the names.
It's written down
We've
somewhere.
heard them.
Yeah.
I,
I think the concern was just if we address one of them and we know that she is a problem,
Yeah.
we don't know how, like, tight they are
Interactable
with each
goes.
other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that
But
was the
who's-
initial.
who's
I was like, I'm
allied
pretty
with
sure
whom?
we were on the point of we don't fucking talk to them about this.
Then I would suggest Leah above table. We go message Rylus, see what Rylus thinks, gets Rylus' opinion, and then we go see what's at the magic shop and see if there's any stuff to help us to either disguise someone or keep someone hidden at the
Mhm.
magic shop. Besides our own, hey, your own funnery with it.
I'm
then-
hesitant to spend money on that for something that's like very niche. Like personally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's not high up on the list in regards to budget.
Yeah, if it's
For
something
me.
fun that we could find, then that's one thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, we should be finding things that will benefit us in the very long run. But yes, that is on the table. We'll definitely keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I think that is a good idea,
I
especially because we might
do-
actually need it in the future.
Well,
do-
and that's it. Is like it may very well be useful.
Yeah.
Um,
Brian, go ahead.
I do think it would be a good idea to have a discussion with Sam.
Maybe we could have one right now.
There is a lot of information floating around above Sam's head right now that, yeah.
Well, and I think it's probably around now that we would realize that we're being like unintentionally exclusatory. Like we're like we've talked and talked and talked and talked about all this stuff, and it's just so old hat to us now that I think it's like, oh, you haven't read that book. Oh no, okay, here's the synopsis or something. Like
You
That's-
I haven't
seen
seen that
Avatar: The Last
movie.
Airbender.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
So,
let's
I
watch
think-
it right now.
I think while probably Faye and Yasna were kind of getting into the detail of it, I'll probably just look at Sam. How much did they tell you at the web about everything?
I mean, I don't know what Sam knows about all of the words that are being
In
thrown
terms of the
around.
assassination specifically.
You would have heard that there was a variety of theories that were floating about when it happened. One of them involved the Brennezon mob in Ilmara, which you were very familiar with. Or at least it's based mostly in Ilmara, but it's somewhat throughout Kathos, so you have definitely had run-ins. One of them, which is probably the most popular among the general population, and this is the kind of thing you would have probably picked up through informational ears-ish, whispers type of missions, would be that the king of Sildari, King Varial Lanthier, was responsible because he was the only major political figure not murdered in this double murder. And then there's a number of inter-Cathian political theories that were brought up. People who were in contest with or disagreement with Chancellor Icescale, who was the figure that was murdered. And for your own notes, in case you don't have it, the figures that were assassinated were Chancellor
think
Rogar. Okay. Oh yeah,
I think I
probably
have
gave
those.
that to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got them.
And you would have been made privy to the fact that the assassinations of both these figures were carried out in such a way that they were both unresurrectable, which was not surprising to you, because that's a modus operandi for legitimate assassins in a world full of revivification magic. And that they were obviously quite capable assassins. There was I would say there was no particular whispers about who it was, in a sense that you may or may not have known, but you know a number of the players in that realm, and the Umberblade and Ironhand were certainly among them.
I mean, I didn't have any concrete evidence on anything. Obviously, the two Soulforged were involved in some way. But it's just all been theories.
Incidentally, I will also add. Actually, roll a d20 for me.
So for my reference, what is the organization Rylus belongs to again?
The
Shaded
shaded
Wind.
Yeah,
Shaded
Rylus is
Wind.
part of the Shaded Wind, which is a monk art organization.
That runs parallel to other things, keep people in check kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's mostly just leading to the next
Very
question.
balanced
Would you
power
roll,
sort of
Anneka?
thing.
I rolled a 14.
Naturally? Yeah, because I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. I will expand a little bit with that roll. The most public political feud in which Chancellor Icegale was involved was this ongoing thing about magic, regulation, freedom, exploration, experimentation, all that stuff. And there was a recent conversation with the assassin's dead body, and then Hugo expanding on it, that brought to light to the rest of the party, but you probably would already have known, the Rourke's involvement in the political side of that debate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
there's
the
that
Rourkes
piece.
were a heavy rival to one of the people assassinated, correct?
The Rourke's,
Lumineers.
yeah, the Rourke's are the figureheads, though not publicly, but Hugo knows them to be the figureheads of this political movement called the Luminaries, that are very pro magical freedom and deregulation. That's
What
what Hugo laid out for you.
Would have heard that because that was a private conversation with Eclipse.
Was it?
It was a private conversation with Eclipse.
That was private.
Oh, okay.
That I
Then
haven't brought
no.
up yet.
Then no, you would not
That
have
was
heard
really
that.
his
And
reference.
yeah, and Eclipse hasn't brought it up, then there would not. You did
haven't yet.
mention. Okay, no. He went into further detail with Eclipse, but when you first asked about the Rourke's, didn't somebody say like who were the Rourke's, and he gave some background?
Yeah,
yes, he did.
And yeah,
He
because you told me specifically that I would have like
Correct.
No.
met
When
them
he
and have
pulled
performed
Eclipse
for
aside
them.
afterwards, it was don't
It went
fuck
into the-
with those people.
And then went into the Luminary stuff
Yeah,
at that point.
that was part of
Yeah.
the
That was that
yeah.
conversation.
Okay, thank you. Then in that
Mhm.
case, you would not know that political side of things. Eclipse does.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's get some things out here on this table. So, how do you feel about the shaded wind?
I don't think I would really have an opinion on them.
Not particularly. They're very neutral.
Like
Informational.
the web and the shaded wind wouldn't have any beef with each other as an organization.
They wouldn't have beef. No, sometimes they would
Okay.
cross paths because they're both sometimes interested in information, and it might sometimes have very small tinges of rivalry in those instances.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
But
is-
not to a degree of beef. More just like, well, you're professionally a competitor of ours in a sense, and maybe the shaded wind looks down a little bit on the way the web does things, but
Okay.
they're
And those
not,
were like
not
a-
enemies by any means.
Just a monk group, like investigators as well.
Yeah.
All right.
In order of monks. Yeah, they investigate, collect history, keep records of things.
Is this happening like in this little circle that we've got going right now?
Yeah, it's mostly just she's leveling with her on a.
Hmm.
Shit's really hard to follow.
Mhm.
Because when magic happens, she's like, I'm gonna just disassociate for 10 minutes. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, like, this is hey, sorry for talking around you. Let's fucking level real quick. Where are you at right now? Okay. So if there's no beef there or anything like that, that's how we found out about all of this. Was from someone from that group. What we're basically hoping is that someone in that group could spread this word on a neutral basis that we can't hope to do. But as you're not aware of.
You mentioned.
Yeah. So as you're no doubt aware of, we're pretty sure who started it. And we're not going to say names out loud.
Mhm.
But I also don't want that to get into the hands of the rest of the coworkers supposedly that they would have. Because I don't trust a lot of people right now. As you have no doubt noticed. Which leads me to my next question on a completely... This is not going to indicate much. How do you feel about how magic is used in this world?
I mean, not in a malicious way, but I don't really care.
I mean, that's valid.
Right.
I mean, I use it. A lot of us use it. I don't really care who uses it. As long as it's not being used for the mass harm of people.
Cool.
I guess I have a follow-up question.
Hmm?
Like our shit stinks, okay?
We got a lot to deal with right now.
My follow-up question would be, do you want to endure it? The smell.
It does pretty smell in here, yeah.
It smells good now, but
I mean, no, it does.
I know you had interest. We found you in the mountains and you came to us, you helped us. Thank you. Is there more that you need from us that we can help you with? Don't know
How much time do we have?
I mean, at this moment, until tomorrow morning.
Or an indefinite amount of period of time that could transpose different world borders and then pick up in a few minutes.
What?
Bless you.
Let's see.
It's a joke that we're players playing characters and time is a construct.
Ah.
Oh. I was
Yeah.
like, do you have a secret that I don't?
I was really trying
Listen,
to.
that could have been in and out of character. We're never gonna fucking know, Megan. All right.
We're never gonna know. Not
We're
when
never
it's
gonna
done.
fucking know. He's
Long rest.
bruising
I
us.
after,
We good.
Nas had said that, Brightwing's gonna give Sam a look, knowing what she knows. It just gives her like, you can say it if you'd like, but you don't have to force it.
Right now, I need to be in Ilmara. I can go to Leah for a bit if you want to help me after this, but I need to speak to the Rorks somehow. In some way.
I don't mean to butt in. I was curious why you asked about them.
Just visibly, like, annoyed by just the thought of them.
Is there a political stake for you, or something else?
It's entirely personal.
You see a decent amount of discomfort in Hugo. A contentious personal affair of some kind.
It's extremely messy.
I don't pretend that you owe us anything, or me, certainly, in this regard, but I've mentioned to Eclipse after that conversation with the decapitated remains. These are not figures to be trifled with. I imagine you may know that, but...
Yeah. It's family business.
Gives a half genuine concern, half eyebrow cocked, what on tarnation look.
If you want the whole truth, I can say the whole truth. If you want to do this somewhere else other than in here, we can. Preferably over some drinks or something.
I would not deny a beverage to lubricate the conversation, as they say.
Did I say that?
Somebody does.
I don't know.
I'll say this at least. You've done a fuck ton of stuff to help us out. When you really didn't have to. Once he's set up and we're sure everything's good, I don't mind a trip to Elmara.
And I appreciate the help. If you wish to come along.
Like I said, if they're that dangerous, you should not be going by yourself.
No, I hope they wouldn't threaten to kill me about this.
The eyebrow goes much further at the unsure
It's the hope.
aspect of that statement. Yeah.
It's the hope that just doesn't sit quite right.
If it would help, do you want to move this to a tavern to have a more private conversation?
Hey, Matt.
I would.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put 2 and 2 together? I want DM something.
I mean, you, Leah, are certainly welcome to put 2 and 2 together in any way you wish. While you DM me that, is anybody opposed to traveling to a tavern/inn?
Nope.
Okay.
Faye, when do you want to contact Rylas?
I can do it whenever. Just meet us in Alea. Additional information. Best discussed face to face.
Yes.
How's the relationship between the Ivory God and the Shaded Wind again? Would he not want to see Kovac there or have any sort of link to us? Or it'd be a different time, that should be fine.
It would be a different time.
Yeah,
It
come
usually
in the
is.
afternoon.
I doubt there is any enmity between the two. They are both.
I mean,
What's
he
more
was
the
in-
involvement with us?
I see.
It would be a different time. So, I guess we met with him at the Swords last time.
Well, that's just because that's where we were.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
So-
tell
And
if
that was-
Leah froze or if she's just standing there
She's
still.
I but
Okay.
She's actually frozen.
I was trying to be.
So-
I was trying to be, still because
There
I
you
knew
go.
I was.
No, but you literally froze.
No, but you were
literally
frozen
Yeah,
also.
yeah,
The camera
yeah.
literally
Yeah.
froze.
Probably because you pulled up the Discord over it.
How's it going?
Okay, so right, because he was when we met him, it was in Sawfeld,
Yeah.
and the guard
Yes.
was there, and we met him at the tavern
Yeah,
separately.
they were
In
traveling
with the
with-
guard, yeah.
He was
Right.
Yeah.
traveling with the guard,
Yeah.
though. They were
Okay.
working in collaboration, so.
Right. Okay.
We're good.
I was like,
Mm,
there wasn't really.
he,
He
was
was just
traveling
there.
parallel to the guard.
Yeah, exactly.
But they
Okay.
were. But there was no animosity there.
No.
There was no
No.
secrets
No.
as to like what his business was there.
Yeah.
Between him and them. So.
Okay. So,
All right.
Okay, then yeah. I mean, if we wanted to keep the involvement that distant
Also-
from each other,
Even larger bag of gold.
that is correct. Not
For
that
the
we are in literally
Priority.
anyway in this for the money, but it does.
Shall we
help.
hit this
Yes.
magical
Yes.
store on the way to a barb?
Can we do that? Like,
Can we do that?
Yes. You want to hit that on the
No.
way?
we know it's
Yes. I'm gonna sell, and I'll message Rylas on the way to that place.
That was the other thing I was wondering. Like, are we gonna get paid before we go? Because I thought that's what you wanted.
I don't think we're gonna be able to have the time.
We're not gonna have time to get
No.
paid before we do this. But that was my
we can-
other
we can-
side
we
of that
can-
question.
We can window shop.
Window shop.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Or spend more money than we normally would with the promise of
Yeah,
additional
sure.
funds being reimbursed later on.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
just me getting that timetable
All right.
figured out.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have him meet us in Alea, right?
Yes.
Okay. We have an update. I believe this one is best discussed in person. We'll be in Alea tomorrow. Not extremely time sensitive. Can you meet? He doesn't think he has to be there right now.
Right.
You're muted.
No.
Hello.
We lost 5 words.
Hi.
Okay. If you give me a couple days, I could make my way there soonish, yes?
He said a couple days, but we are also planning on heading to Ilmara.
We could tell him again to change. when
It's
we get
more the haste of that. Ilmara will still take us, what, like a week and a
Time to
half?
get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could hitch a ride there. Be like, hey, if you're going back,
Bring us
can you
with.
take a homie with?
Yeah.
I think while Faye's doing that while we're walking, I'll probably walk with Sam and just jokingly talk about like Eowyn and more of his bullshit. Just kind of mention his nonsense. Just kind of gradually, in a friendly manner, getting her caught up on where we're at as a fucking group.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Okay.
Do you want to do something with that right now, Leah?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
pull Sam aside.
Alright, cool.
Anneka, this might involve some of your backstory stuff. So if you
yeah.
want Stefan.
Oh,
Let's.
it's deafen real quick.
Yeah. Everybody else.
Deafen for them to only hear it in like 15 minutes.
Maybe.
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 But I don't want to be the one to reveal it.
Yeah.
I would want to respect you revealing your backstory. I had a question before we
Yes. What's up?
You are interested in the Rorix, and
Mhm.
apparently they lead movement for free magic.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were talking before about your husband and your child,
Mm-hmm.
I had mentioned we were looking for children taken because of their magic.
Every possibility of all of this has already run through my head.
Do you think your husband is involved with this movement?
He's not a magic user. I don't know why he would ever have reason to. Even though his parents are involved, he kind of cut them off after a while. So, I don't know anymore.
Wait, who are his parents?
Fuck's sake.
You can hold that if you want.
You don't have to tell me.
It's up to you.
I can just tell everybody at once. Can get this all out on the table of this whole situation.
I think Leah's making her own insight check.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you want to bring everyone back and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before, if you don't mind me asking, what is your child's name?
Oh, there's 2 of them.
What?
Yeah. Elisa and Basil.
How long have they been missing again? A few months, correct?
Yeah, 2 months.
And they were in Olea with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. I know we might reveal this. I just wanted...
Oh, it's okay.
Are you okay with sharing this?
I mean, I was bound to tell them eventually, so I didn't want to make it a big issue when they had bigger things on their plate.
But I think it's the same plate. You're missing someone, and so is she.
Yeah, I guess it is the same plate. Different meals. Like, you don't eat your... Most people don't eat the sweets before the rest of their food.
And I don't think this situation is very sweet.
No, it's... not at all.
And perhaps we can do what we have done before and fix your family.
And hopefully. Certainly do that, with or without the rest of you.
I'm very much
I appreciate it.
Okay. You guys would like to go magic shop now, possibly conversation afterwards or next session, depending on how long magic shop takes, or vice versa.
Yeah. Well,
I think we were gonna
I
window shop.
Okay.
at least window shop.
Okay. All right.
window shop.
You guys, I would say, given your previous history check, knowing some of the hot spots around the area, and these are kind of all together, actually. The Opulent Serenity Spa that you went to, and the Ethereal Emporium of Song and Sun, which is the name of this magic shop, and also the Teal Teardrop Tavern and Inn is near there, so you know you could go there afterwards, Sam. So, you take a little bit of the lead again. And she leads you kind of back the direction that you had been earlier. And arrives at this curiously structured building that looks almost like it was made out of a large tree, like unnaturally large tree. Still looks like a building, like the outer trunk was carved into the shape of a building. And there are small, hanging glowing lights of various colors, kind of painted throughout, like the string lights that you get at, like at breweries, or when it's Christmas time, and you see those hung about. They're kind of all strung about on the outside of this place. And you see a sign that says the Ethereal Emporium of Song and Sun. And when you enter, it is a wild, no pun intended, perspective. It looks like largely what we as players would understand to be kind of walking into the Feywild. It is, there are enchanted floating lights of many different colors. All of the interior and the sections of the store seem to be made from this tree that it was carved out of, or out of someone carving a building to look like a tree. You're not sure. All the colorations are these purples and pinks and interesting greens. It's not very busy at the moment, and you initially don't see anyone before, after you walk in, and the little ding 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 of the bell, which Brightwing stares at, of course.
Ding 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 ding.
What a throwback.
Yeah.
Ding.
You don't see anyone, and then you hear,
Hello, can I be of any service to you?
Oh my gosh.
and initially don't see anyone, and then there's a small movement of color, and you see a fairy.
Holy
about maybe 6 to 8 inches tall. Long black hair that's tied into a thick ponytail that hangs below her feet as she flies. Wings are a sort of translucent silvery white that catch and reflect the floating, glowing, enchanted lights of the shop. Very slender, has light purplish robes with silvery white trim, and looks more or less like a Lucy Liu.
Huh.
Are you here to shop?
Ideally, yes.
You quite the curious-looking bunch. What is it you're looking for?
Do you have a diamond?
We have a whole section of components, yes, back there.
Thank you.
Don't we have 2?
I have 1. No! Wait a minute. I have the one that's on my neck, and then I used one on you to revivify you.
This should be in your inventory.
We bought one. We had the
bought-
one that Faye gave, and we had the one on your neck. So we should have one, and then plus the one on your neck. So we should have 2.
I have a diamond. Yeah, I have a diamond, and then I have my hearth seed. I was gonna get another diamond.
It's not a bad idea.
Because the hearth seed can be used for anything. A diamond
What?
can be used for...
Isn't that what the party fund's for, too? Is to cover that.
Initially.
What is the value of the harp seed? It's up to a certain gold value, right?
Let me see. I gotta look at the actual 300.
Okay, so it could be revivify, but not resurrection later on.
Yeah.
That's something to keep in mind too.
We could get a more expensive diamond if that is the case. Because in the party fund, we have...
Any magical items that you feel would be a bit more fun or innately useful?
Curious? Sure, let me see what we have.
Okay, 2 things. One, I'm going to send you guys this. This is general magic shop. It's in the... I guess I should probably put it in resources. Well, I'll just give it to you again later if you need it.
Where is it?
General inventory, so you can just browse that if you want.
You need
Like
access to
request
the doc.
access.
Okay.
Mark the time logging.
Just
Make it public.
Yeah, you can change it to anyone with link.
Hold on. Hold. Okay, I
Okay.
just did. That should work.
I'm trying again.
Oh,
There you go.
thanks. Got it.
There it is. There it is.
I have so many tabs open. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
A plus 1.
If the price says plus something, that's over the base
like
item, like a weapon
Oh.
or
price of a
armor.
longsword
Potion of
plus.
climbing. Thanks, Matt.
Ropes are cheaper. Handy spice pouch.
A bead of force. Hey, Brian, bracer of flying daggers. Ew.
Sovereign glue's only 400 gold, guys.
A what? Sovereign glue?
Oh
We will
yeah, we
technically
need
get
that
rid of
shit.
it.
Marvelous pigments. What's that?
You as Leah are very familiar with what that is.
Is that Jester's thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a bead of nourishment. Is that just a good?
That is like you eat it. It's just one, and you're sustained for the rest of the day.
Yeah, the boba.
I'm gonna
Yep.
just say that bracer of flying daggers actually kind of looks dope.
Listen,
You never run out of daggers, as in the description.
Bruh.
When an item is put on a list specifically for one character and you know
Yeah.
who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have nearly enough right now.
So
But
this-
definitely should come.
This
back
is
for it.
general, right?
This is general, which means for the record, in the future, any relatively decent magic shop will have all of this
all
stuff.
these things.
Got it.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good to know.
But
What is? I guess I can. Look
oh,
this
go
up.
ahead.
I'm just gonna look something up.
Okay. While and/or after you peruse to your question, Nas.
A few of the specials we do have at the moment. Well, you said fun. We have some filters of love. I imagine you can guess what that might do.
Well, that is fun, I suppose.
Particularly, yes. I have some clockwork amulets. I'm not sure if that would interest you. Made by one of our artificers in the area. It allows you to prevent bad luck from ruining what otherwise might be an important venture.
AKA, when you make an attack roll while wearing the amulet, you can forego rolling the d20 to get a 10 on the die. Can't be used again till the next dawn.
Oh, that's cool.
This is a particular special of mine. My name is Sean Wei Song, by the way. I have what I call Song's pixie dust. You can use it to fly. Quite a few people at once, if used correctly. I also have one amulet of slow. I'm not sure whether some of you seem quite capable of spell casting. It allows you to cast that spell.
Oh,
And, well, I don't know what your means may be, but one of our most popular items with the higher buyers is our Calamity Rose. Quite capable of, shall we say, powerful magics when you're in a pinch. The full details are on the card there.
She points over, and you see in this case, it's kind of on like a little pillow, this beautifully crafted rose of multicolored crystal with 6 different petal colors. And you can look up the Calamity Rose if you want to read what it does.
thinking.
And then, if you're in particular need of, well, if you're entering into danger in any way, we have some amulets of health. Those are quite expensive.
Oh,
Those are some of our specials at the moment.
How expensive is expensive?
How expensive is expensive?
For which one?
The last one.
8,000 gold pieces.
That's not cool. Well, we know where to come back.
Okay, great. How much is this flower?
That flower is 1,600.
That's not that bad.
Have you got any materials for transcribing scrolls?
Yes, we would have that indeed.
What does that run?
Oh, it depends on what you're intending to transcribe. It requires a certain quantity and quality.
There's rules on spell scroll creation and how much it costs.
I don't have the updated version, I don't think, of your...
It should
Wait,
be
do I?
in there. Letting me look.
I think I have... Oh, I had the tab saved of your old rules, but not the new ones. Did you pin that somewhere?
It's the second message up in the
Game resources?
game resources. Yep, and it's there's no page numbers on this PDF. How silly of me. It's on page 4.
You're quite the adventurous-looking group. Might I ask where you come from?
All over, really.
Are you the adventuring type?
Right.
Traveling with fell beasts and such?
When it suits us.
We have, and I'll pull out the Bahir hide.
Damn. Okay.
Wow, show off.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
She might go or something, I don't know.
NBA.
Impressive. Well, feel free to look about, and if you need anything, I'll be within earshot. Oh, or one of my children.
Children. How much is the pixie dust?
The pixie dust is 120 gold pieces per use.
How long does the use last? Is it similar to the spell that could cause the same effect?
Somewhat. It lasts 10 minutes. It can affect a larger group of people, though.
Oh.
Nope, it lasts 1 minute.
1 minute.
That's
for a
just
bunch
the
of
autocorrect
people.
DM. No, I said
Yep.
wrong shit.
Yep.
1 minute for a bunch of people.
Song's pixie dust is also in the magic items if you search for it.
It's not bad.
I would like
To buy a damn level.
a Dambaga. I would like to buy. I will set down.
Stuff that prevents us from falling. Man, I'm just scared. Made us
Well,
climb a
we
mountain
saw what
before.
happened on the cliff, Leah.
Made us climb a mountain before. What? Just saying.
I'm gonna set down 50 platinum,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get 500 gold worth of spell scroll material.
Okay.
Wow.
Damn.
High spender, big spender.
Okay.
We're gonna be paid soon.
Also, it's gonna come in really handy.
Well, and that would be 2 4th levels or any significant combination of other things.
Yeah. Anything to save resources is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's a pinch. That's someone else being able to do one of my things. That's several
That's
things.
huge.
So
Yeah, for sure.
We can also do banish.
well, if we're gonna, I mean, I had intended to scribe some scrolls of Dimension Door.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that would be huge.
smart. That's cool. I like that.
When we have downtime. Yeah.
I'll buy a 500 gold diamond, Matt. With the
Okay.
party fund if everyone's okay with that.
That's what
Or
it's
should-
there for.
That's why
That's
we.
literally what it's there for, so yes, please.
Okay. I will also put
Yeah.
50 platinum on the table.
Okay.
In little piles.
Mm-hmm. For the record, she disappeared into the back after giving you all the breakdown, but once you started pulling out money, another fairy flies up. Looks not dissimilar to the woman you just met, but much younger, with an undercut that's dyed pink.
I can help you with your purchases.
What do I add to my inventory for that? Can I just make a custom item for?
Yeah, make a custom
Yeah.
item of spell scroll materials and how much gold pieces worth you have, and then you'll knock off
We
from
can
there as you
knock
go.
off as I go. Okay.
I am going to put 50 gold on the on the
Oh shit!
Get it?
and I would like to buy a Heward's Handy Spice Pouch.
Bet. Okay.
And then go cry.
Do we
Go cry?
want more potions while we're here? Do we want to wait till after?
What does the party fund look like after the
The
500?
party fund has 9 platinum, 400, and 10 gold, and 60 silver.
So we've got
five
enough for
gold.
another diamond, is what I'm hearing. It's in there.
You can buy another diamond.
So
But
I think as
we
long
have
as we can
to-
keep the one more diamond in there, I'm okay with anything we spend above that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
yeah.
2 diamonds, 1 300, 1 500, and then I have the
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
But right now the fund is
The
basically we're at
Hearthstone.
like 1 diamond's worth of gold in there.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We could do.
500 diamonds for-
Basically, we could do 2. No, not even 2. Like we could only get 1 basic healing potion. So I feel like we maybe sit on it for right now and let it build up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because healing potions are a little easier to find than
Okay.
if we're okay, we could buy the 1.
I mean, I have 1 still of greater. That's why I was saying I could probably spend it on the greater because I don't have much.
Everyone should have a normal, and everyone but Brightwing should have 1 greater.
So
That's where we were at the end of the fight with the
That's
I should
assassins.
have a normal. Oh, I
Yeah.
do.
Everyone should have 1 normal, and everyone but Brightwing should have a greater. So we
Alright.
got potions.
okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't
Mhm.
remember if we used any that nonsense.
I don't think we
did.
needed to.
Okay, then disregard. I don't. The heck's an elixir of hell?
Let me look at my spell component. Real fast.
Um,
My spell.
Hang on, I'm
While you two do that, is everybody else kind of just moving about, browsing?
yeah.
Okay. Sam,
Yeah.
a few minutes into this, everybody kind of looking around. You hear a small not whisper, but voice from a little off to your right.
Might I ask a question?
You look over and see Sean Wei, the woman you met originally.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose I had a task that needed completing, and it required a experienced touch, and
Mm-hmm.
perhaps a unnoticed would be a rather important factor. Do you all happen to be available for hire for things like that?
It really depends. We're at a bit of a time crunch, so the details are important.
I have something I would like to acquire from outside the city, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
having some trouble getting it in for particular reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and they are quite valuable. I would be willing to offer quite a bit of credit at the store if I could get your help.
I shoot a mind link back at Yasnib.
Okay. Has this happened before?
To him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This pixie wants to know if we're available for work.
Depends on the timeline.
I look back at Jean Wei. How long would this take? Or where outside of the city is this?
My supplier is right outside. They could be contacted in a matter of hours if this was possible. The difficulty is getting the items in. They are not
They're illegal. You're saying they're illegal items.
Some would say so, yes. They're rather controlled.
Am I allowed to know what they are before we accept this?
Yes. Are you saying you're interested?
Possibly. If it could be done today.
Quite possibly tonight, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They are shards from the Feywild. Extremely valuable. And only particularly valuable to someone like me and my employees who can distill it into controlled forms for magical purposes. But they are rather powerful and chaotic, and they are imported from Sildari, and those things together result in some difficult import laws that I would prefer to skirt. The rather difficult part of this is they are, because of their raw, chaotic magic, they can't be placed into...
And she points at Faye and the bag of holding that's hanging off her hip, which she clearly recognizes.
Extraplanar dimensions. Not where I would have snuck them in myself, obviously, if that were possible. It makes it quite difficult.
Message back to Yasmin. She says we can potentially get it done by tonight, but smuggling illegal substances into the city for experimental purposes.
Excellent. And how much? Just out of curiosity.
How many shop credits would we get?
Well, there are 5 shards, and I would be willing to extend 1,000 gold pieces per.
I will relay that to Yasmin. 1,000 gold pieces per, up to 5,000.
I am just
5
going to
braces of
start.
daggers.
I'm just going to start to walk over to Faye.
Mm-hmm.
Faye.
Hmm.
Lie to me.
Just lie.
Just lie.
Just something.
Yes.
I'm not very good on the spot. Your hair looks terrible today.
Insight
Roll a deception check.
9.
Oh, I can't roll less than that. I can't. 21.
21.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you.
True.
We just spent a whole day at this all.
yeah. No, it's clicking. It's all there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might need to talk.
Huh?
And then I'll like.
Quite alright. Do you need to use
I'll.
the loo?
No, I don't need the loot. If shenanigans are afoot.
Oh, that's a terrible face. Oh no.
And
Somebody set the
I
Benny Hill theme.
think you might have a connection.
A connection?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
We'll talk.
Throughout all of this, Sean Wei has been staring at you. Or maybe
I'm
you've been
trying to
conversing.
like stall, like
yep,
I'm
and
just
then-
making
Okay.
And
small
then-
talk, like asking.
And then like looking over, like thinking towards Sam.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Interested. But we need to talk a minute.
Okay. You know what? I will get back to you. I will discuss and we will return with our answer.
Very fair. If you wish to, you could return after we close, which is in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the best.
Of course. We are very interested, though. We are very interested, though. So.
I'm glad to hear it. Alright, well, continue your shopping.
She flits away. You have something, Brightwing?
I have a question.
Yes.
One of the spells I'm looking at requires. Oh, no, it went away. Requires 100 golds worth of either silver and iron or holy water. But I also have a spell I can make my own holy water.
Damn.
Which
So
requires
do I
silver,
even-
right?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it requires silver.
Powdered
Oh.
silver.
Well, how much silver
Ceremony
is-
ain't cheap, yo.
Mm-hmm.
25 gold of powdered silver.
So it saves 75 gold just to make my own. But how long does it take to cast?
Hour.
An hour? Oh, okay, actually, yeah. let's
She
just-
asked of a spell on her spell list.
I have a lot of spells. Okay, so in that case,
Ew.
I would like 25 gold's worth of like top of the line incense,
Okay.
25 gold's worth of powdered silver.
Also
Okay.
worth noting that is for 1 vial of water to become holy
Oh,
water.
is that enough for the spell? It just says holy water. It doesn't say how much.
Does it say? Does it say a gold quantity of silver or holy water?
It says holy water or powdered silver and iron's worth at least 100 gold. So I don't know if it means 100 gold's worth of holy water.
No,
just
I would
holy
say that's
water.
like 1 vial would do the job, probably.
Okay.
Sounds like.
Loophole.
Read your
Hmm.
spells.
I'm reading 5 different spells.
You're good. No,
No,
it's
that's-
a compliment.
that's it.
It's a compliment.
That's a compliment. That's a
good.
great loophole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you can acquire both of those.
And then there is something else. Ah, yes. How much money do I have left? That's a good point. Because So I need 200 gold's worth of diamond dust.
Jeez.
This is on my... Listen, clerics, even bright
Clerics do be expensive.
Clerics be expensive, yo. I had 204. Ooh, I don't think I have enough. Because I had 50. I would spend all my money.
How much?
But you don't use money.
I don't use money. Could I?
We
I don't
also
know.
have dropped
Probably
like
wouldn't know how to
1,000
haggle.
gold. We could get some kind of haggle maybe out
There
of it.
have been no attempts to haggle.
There have been no attempts to haggle.
Or we do the job and just get it for free.
Oh, that's actually a real good point.
Just do it afterwards, because we're gonna get paid too, so we're gonna get all the money.
Yeah.
That's a very good
Okay.
point. Okay, yeah.
Let's say this. You can sort out the last bits of what you might want to purchase. Discuss amongst yourselves as players how you feel about this, and then we will discuss it in character if needed. But
Yeah.
for now, we will end this session because it's late, and pick up here with what you guys do with the rest of your time in Hawkholm, and then where you go after that next time in session 50.
50!
Pity.
Wow. All right.
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
Peace out.
Favorite moments.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we're
missed that part.
juked us.
Juked us.
Bright
There's a
almost
lot
getting
of stuff.
deported. It was really funny.
Oh yeah.
Getting
That
deported
was,
arc.
That was good.
Dude,
Yeah.
that'd be
That was
so
really
good.
funny.
I think-
Faye might know her mom, question mark!
That was very much of like a. It feels too good to be true, I think, for her. So
Mhm.
she's like, and in the same vein of like, when she got excited about her brother being in Hawkholm and then immediately dismissed it.
Mhm.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing of like, no, this isn't time. Like, we don't have time. Like, and like, she's always gonna do that. You know, like it's never gonna. It's just too good to be true. It's not possible.
Also, we need drinks with Dane.
We need drinks with Dan, which we can do right now, Quinn? Maybe?
I mean, I think that's what we should do, and then be like, "Yo, Dane, can you help?"
Butter
That
him
is
up,
one move.
and then ask him.
Well, so, okay. To preface, I'm not saying that we should get this guy to willingly allow us to bring stuff in, being a connection through that way. However, I am saying that it could be something utilized
Also,
to dissuade suspicion.
we
Mhm.
have the hither thither staff. We could just put a hole. And just
That's
go
true,
through.
we have to hit
We
it.
fucking do.
That's what I thought we were gonna do.
There's no
Yeah,
problem.
we do.
No
That's the
customs
better idea.
whatsoever.
That's the better
I was
idea.
gonna like go out there and then dimension door right back in with it and just be
Mhm.
like already inside the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any others?
The hugs between Faye and Dane.
Oh.
Mhm.
That was
Oh yeah, like the very proper
Siblings.
official,
Yeah.
and then like as soon as
And
we
then
were
that-
like out of line of his
Yeah.
coworkers, yeah.
Yeah.
That was cute.
You're gonna make fun of me at work.
Yeah.
You embarrass me.
Who's
God.
that? It's my fucking sister, man.
Just leave me alone. I'm very thankful
Um,
Hugo had a plan. That was really kind of
Yeah.
I was really struggling with how I was gonna get convinced that it was okay for him to be there.
It's been the main
Yeah.
thing he's been thinking about for some time now.
Yeah.
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 I like Yasnip's speaking up about what everybody's thinking about Hugo prioritizing his job over his family.
When that really was
Mm.
not the case in any way. shape, or form.
yeah.
Like, bro.
Perception versus intention, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because so for Nas, like he was in the room when we were talking about him coming back home,
Mhm.
and he never came back to the house. So he can
Yeah.
see that as somebody being too involved in their work.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But that's
Cool.
but that's it. It's just a
Yeah.
perspective.
Just
Like you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have all of you don't have but like those are true based on that perspective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, but it's just incomplete information.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Also,
Um,
balance.
I
Yeah.
appreciate. Yeah, the old bathhouse. Yeah.
Heckin'
And Eclipse. The
bathhouse.
fact that Eclipse still has a bow. So
Yes.
there will now be
This whole
two
time.
sessions in which Eclipse is
Yep.
wearing a bow.
True.
Flink.
Like,
Whoop, 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 whoop.
It's my favorite low-key distraction.
Yeah. I am going to miss being Hugo. That's not really a favorite one for this session necessarily, but I have enjoyed being able to like have converse with the party from within the party, and it's gonna be sad when Hugo's not there anymore. I like him a lot.
Oh, and side
back.
question to something that popped up in a chat. Can we get like a mini post-session montage of what Edgeworth's response was to that bathhouse?
Oh, yes.
My gosh.
there's a little plant pools at the very front. You could have just
I'm trying
fallen out and yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the waterfall, just laying there floating
Yep.
across the
It was definitely
surface.
a lot of that.
Mhm.
Probably some nice pruning from someone.
He definitely stayed out of the salt room.
Yes.
Oh yes. The mudroom could have been fun though.
Yes.
Mm.
Alrighty. Good stuff, everybody. Good conversations, and it seems like we actually have a direction forward, which is good for me. Yeah. Alrighty.
Political nonsense.
Mhm. We
yeah,
will
it's a-
pick up.
Yeah, that's another favorite moment. Is something that like I think I understand, but I
Oh.
don't know.
Leah has
But
pieced it together because she's the
I
only one
think
with the
I pieced it
information.
together.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to that.
We
Heck.
never got to it. Got to it
No.
next time.
That'll be part of
But I
to
think-
next session.
It's gonna be a long
Okay.
night.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
such a long
It's gonna be a
night.
long night.
Yeah, it is.
Stumble into Alea and then take a long rest.
Yeah. Alrighty, we will pick up there in session 50. Whoo-wee. Next time.
Oh
Adios.
boy.
21.
21.